Hello, everyone. Welcome to a Drop Frames episode. Jesse Cox, what are you laughing about?
Nothing. That's a dramatic intro. We were invested.
What do you mean? The
Nothing.
video?
Yeah.
Guys,
I'm not sure if they've watched it
through
before.
hyperspace.
Guys, we've had
time
this,
and space.
We've had this intro for like almost a decade.
Oh, I mean, I know because I watch all the time. I was just saying that it's a really wow. What a great intro.
Wow, Jesse Cox. Does the Dodge and Cox podcast have an intro yet? Do you guys have a? Do you got an intro, Jesse?
Our dear sweet friend Mega Ran made the intro. It's great. It's honestly the show. I'm not gonna lie. It's a great little start to your weekend wrap. So
okay,
go look at that, and then you don't have to watch the rest of the show. It's whatever.
All right. What happens? I'm curious now. Then I'll introduce Rami. Stay on standby. I'm gonna Google Dodge and Cox. This is brave.
Let me just. This was great. You know, I'll see you at the next show.
Oh, hold on. Dude. Apparently, Dodge and Cox is an investment company.
That sounds right.
They own
sound right.
They own a shit ton of SEO. Holy shit. Wait.
That sounds right.
Are they a public company? Oh, they're a public company. The Dodge and Cox Stock Fund. DODGX.
I think you can invest. There's definitely a Cox thing you can invest in.
Wow.
Because that's like somewhere I have a relative who's filthy rich. I don't know them, but I feel like we should be in touch. Call me. Yeah, I have no clue. But I know if you go to like one of those investment things, there's literally like a Cox thing you can invest in.
Yeah.
It ain't me, that's for sure.
Man, the 2023, the Dodge and Cox executive made millions for himself by trading and then I can't read the rest of the article because I'm not going to subscribe.
Jobs away is probably a good guess. Or, like, I don't know, I'm sure something terrible happened that he made millions. I believe that.
He sold over 2 million of his net app stake in March 2018. That same quarter, Dodge and Cox made a major cut to his net app, and that's it. That's all I got. That's all Google has fed me. So Jesse, out there.
Sounds familiar. Rami, thoughts?
I mean, I took off my headphones to keep this halal, and then I put them back on, and the only thing I heard was Jesse going invest in Cox, so I just took it back off again.
I mean, it's just you know. There was a weird.
I understand.
It's all coming back to me now, but there was a moment in time, aka yesterday, where I wasn't sure if Jesse Cox and Rami Ismail had met.
We have.
But you guys have totally met
times.
at like several things that I've hosted and invited you both to, including a dinner.
Really hung out, and we were in London and just randomly stumbled upon each other one time and just hung out the rest of the night.
Yep.
It happens.
Yeah, that sounds right. That sounds right.
and a Cox run into each other, like, you know. I don't know.
Yeah, every once in a while. Yeah, once in a blue moon.
What are you gonna do? It happens.
Yeah.
I think that's, if I remember correctly, I was at a PAX like house party or something like that, half drunk, and I met this tall Arabic dude, and I'm like, I'm gonna talk to that guy, and that's how we started talking. I remember we were sitting by a hot tub, like we weren't in the hot tub, we were like leaning on it or something.
Okay.
I started talking to him, and he didn't go away. I was like, hey. That's great.
Yeah.
This guy's
very patient.
Extremely
patient.
You know, I teach game development. You learn at some point. You
just let him keep talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was great. It was fun because, like, you know, Zeke was slightly drunk, and then he can get very philosophical. So we talked about life and about purpose and about all that stuff, and I'm like, this is a very smart, intelligent, well-spoken man. And then I watched the stream. And, you know.
Yeah.
So wait, is he like you know how there's like idiot savant? Is he a drunk savant? Is that what we're hearing?
It's just a very smart man when you talk to him slightly drunk. It's great.
No, it's the mask starts slipping and falling.
Fair. I get it.
Because I'm like Pagliacci. I'm a sad clown.
Makes sense. I understand.
You know what sucks is part of me is like, bro, is that true? Do you need to talk right now? Can we just change this? Are you okay? Like, I know you're joking, but like, are you sad clown?
No,
Like, do you need a hug? Do
no.
you want to sing to me?
No,
Can we?
maybe the time Rami met me, I was a little bit, but these days, like for the past, I don't know, 5 years at least, I've been just like,
He's cooking.
my life is great. My life is great.
Since he met me, life's just been on the up and up.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Absolutely. My life got the Rami bump.
Yeah, that's right. The Rami bump. Everyone knows about it. Everyone knows about it.
Everyone.
Yeah.
It's a thing. Google it.
Yeah.
It's an industry thing. Yeah, everyone knows.
Everyone knows about the Rami bump. They really do. They really do.
I really need to start a Keep It Halal podcast.
Yeah, you do. You do. If you're listening to the podcast version, you might be wondering where Cohh's voice is. That motherfucker chose his family over us this weekend. Us indie streamers got to keep working, but those big corpo streamers, they just take vacations when they want, willy-nilly.
We thought you were cool.
Unfucking believable. He's out of here. I don't know where he's at. He didn't even tell me. I had to learn through stream.
He didn't. That's right. I saw it in the,
He sent
in
a
the Drop
fucking
Frames
peasant.
chat.
He sent a peasant to speak to me. We don't even speak Lord to Lord. Unbelievable. Anyways, he'll be back next week, I'm sure.
Yeah. May I read this? Oh, fuck, JP. I'm out of town this weekend. Sorry I didn't post here.
And was that Friday? I think that was Thursday. It was Wednesday or Thursday. It was earlier in the week. Yeah. Because I think Reggie tweeted on the Drop Frames account and tagged him, and then he was like, "I'm not gonna be there."
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yep.
Luckily, these two fine folks answered the call, aka the text, because I don't call people. That's fucking weird. Don't call people in 2024. Send them text. Yeah. And then here we are. And that's the show. That's all I got planned. What are we talking about? Jesse and Rami were doing some green screen antics before we started. We could just do that for 3 hours. You guys want to just... Should we just partake here in okay. Show everyone show the class.
Yeah, here we go.
So stupid. So stupid.
We got it all worked out.
So stupid. We're doing this for
Perfect. Yeah.
3 hours.
I can keep this going.
Still gets me.
We're easily amused.
What you guys missed, though, I mean, that part, that's where he ended. How we started was Rami, like, feeding him, like...
Oh, we can do that.
We can. We're totally here.
We can...
Yeah.
So stupid. Oh, my God. Why am I
Oh, my
laughing?
God. So dumb.
Oh,
This really plays well over audio, by the way, for all the podcast listeners.
Can you imagine just listening?
Fuck, there's a bird somewhere. Yeah.
I was cooing because I was being pet like a sweet animal.
A sweet Hannibal? What?
Animal.
Oh, animal. Okay, I was very...
No, it feels like you could just go sit on his lap. Like it goes over so far, you can just be like...
Yeah.
And I think technically with the green screen, I can kind of stick my face into Jesse's box. I can probably just, let's see.
Yeah. He's in the room with them.
This is some movie magic.
Yeah. It's incredible.
The thing
incredible.
I don't know which way I'm actually looking, so I hope that works.
You were looking the right
what
way.
I'm doing right now.
You were looking the right way. Let's go to some news. What do we got in the past week? Well, we could start with layoffs because there's more of them. Square Enix has confirmed U.S. and EU layoffs as part of a restructuring of the company.
Restructure them.
Yeah. The Square Enix president, Takashi Kiru, said that both companies, American and European arms, would be hit with layoffs, which will happen over the course of the next month. The scale of the layoffs was not shared, but staff were told that people working in publishing, IT, and Square Enix's collective indie games division will be predominantly affected. So, Staff will be informed this week. This was on Monday, so this past week now. In the UK, employees will enter a 1-month consultancy period. As per local employment law, US-based staff could leave their roles before June. So I think everyone, I've already seen a handful of folks on Twitter say they were affected by this, and I'm sure more will make public if they want to. But yeah, this was also right after they announced their financial results that indicated that profits were down nearly 70% from the previous year, partly due to the recognition of 141 million in losses on disposal of content as an extraordinary loss. The losses are related to the cancellation of projects that don't fit with its future strategies, suggesting that they may have either tied to a single platform or rely too heavily on external developers. This also came right as I think Square Enix announced a new 3-year initiative for them moving forward on terms of what they want to do. And one of those things was multi-platform, because it turns out when you put Rebirth out on PlayStation and only PlayStation, it doesn't do that well in sales. It only, it kind of underperforms. And so they're hopefully going to be going multi-plat with all that stuff. It's a medium-term business plan is what they're calling it. The full thing, the full slide, if you want to go read it yourself for some reason. Square Enix reboots and awakens. 3 years of foundation laying for long-term growth. And that was that Monday, the 13th? Yeah, this was on this past Monday, which will last all the way till March 31st, 2027 at the end of the fiscal year. So they got a whole PowerPoint slide out there if you want to go read it. I assume this is from investors, is where this thing leaked from. But
and the whole thing seems worded and coded for only investors. So
yeah.
I mean, the weird thing about this whole thing is when you actually go look at the numbers, right? Net sales are up, digital entertainment sales are up, MMO and smartphone slightly down, but 10%, and then all the rest of that shit is canceled projects.
Yeah,
they're doing fine.
Yeah, the majority of that was canceled projects, most likely.
Yeah, 60-something% of it was canceled projects. Everything else, I pulled up the numbers. Is net sales is 356 billion yen.
Okay.
Which is up 3.8% year on year from 343. Digital entertainment 248 billion, which is up 2.6 year over year. Operating income 32.5 billion, which is down 26%. Profit attributable to owners of parent 15 billion, which is down 69.7%.
I
really
feel
the thing that
I feel like you're missing the point though. It could be higher.
It could be higher for the owners of the company.
That's right.
Yeah. It could. We could do more. No, it's nonsense. I will say though, I think sticking with just PlayStation is some sort of factor in there.
Totally.
Because I was reading this morning that I think something like of all the people who got a PlayStation 4, only 50% have gotten a PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so, that's just a smaller audience. And if you're selling to a smaller audience, only a smaller number of people are going to buy it. So, that's just math.
Yeah, on the one side, yeah. On the other side, if you're not buying a PS5, are you buying Final Fantasy 16? Because that's kind of the that's a $70, $100 game. If you're not I would say that the audience that buys more AAA games is probably going to be buying that PS5 at some point. It's just when you look at it, digital entertainment is up. Final Fantasy 16 performed okay at worst.
Yeah,
right?
they did both of them did okay for sure.
Yeah.
They will probably recoup a lot of that whenever it comes out on PC.
They were both 3 million-ish. Is that 7 and 16?
Okay.
I think 16 was 3.5 million maybe, and the last I saw was 3 million for 7, but it's probably 4 now. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
which is good. It's
in the normal world, I feel like that's very good, but
Yeah.
When you're investing and you're putting a ton of money in, you have to be like, well, we spent 200 million on it and we got to get back 80 billion. It's like, oh my God, guys.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah.
The whole thing is crazy. And I think what Jesse was joking about earlier is also just very true. Like, this entire thing, mate, is bullshit. The entire thing is bullshit. There's no crisis. There's no fucking crisis. Come on. Like, games industry is doing well. Games are selling well. Like,
I'm curious. Oh, go ahead, Jesse, and then I want to ask.
No, I'm saying it's doing some of the best sales it's ever. The games industry is making tons of money, like ludicrous amounts of money right now, but only for the people at the top. If you're working in the industry, you're getting screwed, and it is gross. It's gross.
Yeah, it's that thing where it's not even because people. So the suggestion, you know, if you sort of like skim the news, right, you might get this impression that what happened is during COVID, people over-indexed, right? So people invested a lot of money into games. Money was cheap, which is a real thing we can say. But people over-indexed, so there was a lot of like expectation for very, very high growth in the games industry. And then when COVID ended, it turned out people went back and touched grass instead of playing more video games. And so that was a little unexpected, right? And so when you read that, you might expect that what we expected was a line that goes up like this, right? And that what we got instead was a line that goes down like that. But that's not what happened. What happened is there was a line expectation that was like this, and it kind of ended up like here. Like five degrees lower. It's not that big of a difference.
Yeah.
But it's a big enough difference that for a lot of people that care about shares that wanted that number to go up higher, the shareholders, the money people at the top, that they're trying to make up for that 5% so they can still get that explosive growth. And if you're not making it up by earnings, you make it up at the cost side of things. And that's where the layoffs started. And when the layoffs started, and this is the part that really fucking pissed me off, when the layoffs started, a lot of these companies realized that if they also lay off people, if everybody just uses the same fucking excuse, everybody can lay off people, that's going to bring pressure down on the jobs. So that means that you can hire back that same person 3 months later. The fiscal year ended, like literally the day the fiscal year ended. All of these companies started hiring back the roles that they laid off, right? Like they just started with like, oh, we need a community manager. I'm like, you fucking fired your community manager 3.5 months ago.
Right.
And they're hiring them back for like 70% of the salary.
Yeah, what
right?
company was that? I saw that on was that Bungie?
All of them.
I think that was Bungie was the one that went viral, where they like let the community manager go, and then the person that got let go quote tweeted the job app where they were paying the new person the new job more than what they were making before they were let go, which is kind of wild to consider.
The whole thing is bullshit. They're like, yes, there are some companies that are actually under pressure, and there are companies that are falling, and that's the reality of games industry, right? Sometimes companies fail. Like the majority of the layoffs, the majority of the closings, the majority of the shutterings, like they're kind of bullshit.
Yeah,
they're like the develop. It's like, you know how we always yell that developers need to unionize. It's like all the companies unionized and all went like, oh, if we all lay them off, we can get a better deal on these people. Like,
Jesus,
fucking anti-union.
Yeah,
it's kind of happening across the board. I mean, a lot lately, you see people over the internet being like, when did fast food get so expensive? I went to go get a sandwich. Like everything, it's guys. I'm starting to think that corporations might not be great.
Whoa, hot takes from Jesse.
I'm starting to. I don't want to say it, but I'm thinking it a little bit.
Just think it. Don't say it. Don't say it out loud. That's how you get on the list. That's how you get on the list. You don't need to be on the list.
It might be up to no good. I don't. That doesn't sound right. Right?
Yeah. Rami,
America.
Last week we were talking about I think what spurred the conversation was the Sarah Bond interview that she did with Bloomberg, and kind of this rhetoric that you touched on a little bit, but this rhetoric that like the game industry is down, right? That like everything is going negative. A lot of people cite COVID, kind of like what you did. Any, like from your estimation and kind of what you already said, there's no truth to that, correct? Like,
no,
things are down, but it's because COVID is impossible to judge success.
They're not down. Yeah. They're not up enough.
Okay, that's it.
it's not down. There's nothing is down. Like all the numbers, no matter where you look, they're up. Right. The only thing that's down is external investment into games. So like investors like investing into games, which makes sense. Right now is not the best time to be doing that.
Yeah.
But the main reason they're doing that is because they expect the numbers to be up here and they're like 5% lower. So all of them are like, well, we better invest in some other shit that is getting those numbers. Like, you know, so the whole thing is like a weird self-inflicted goal. And it's this typical sort of like shareholder short-term like bullshit. Like we need to get good year numbers. Like the companies that are doing well in the games industry are companies that retain their people 10, 15 years, right? Like that keep people there. They get there, they stay there, they grow there, they learn to work together, they trust each other. That's how you make amazing fucking video games, right? Like it's the people. And all these companies are now just kicking people out. And don't forget, like, if you have like a really good person at one studio, that doesn't mean they can be that effective at any other studio, right? Because the way they work, the way you look at things, the way decision making works, like we're a very like custom industry. Every company is its own structure, its own rules, its own ways of working. So when you get these people laid off, they have to relearn how to exist in a different studio. And that will take years, and sometimes you will just not get the same magic that you got when people have been working together for like 10 years, right? So these are all own goals. We're just scoring own goals. It's like we just really wanted to, and it's not even the games industry, man, because the people in the games industry, we don't want this shit. We just want to make good games, you know? We just wake up every morning and we're like, I hope I get to make more games today. And then for too many people in this industry right now, they get to work and it's like, no, not you.
Yeah.
Not you, because it was big money up there is like, oh, your number was 3% lower than I expected, so I only made 4 billion. I can only buy 4 fucking boats. Like, fuck off. Like, I'm just, the whole thing is infuriating because you know, you listen to, and I like Sarah. Sarah is a smart person. She's eloquent. She's really well versed in everything games. Like everybody on the Xbox side is well versed, is smart, cares about video games, right? Like I've spoken at length about how much I respect Phil, but Phil admitted live, I don't remember, in a tweet or an article at some point, like, listen, I'm running a business.
Yeah.
I'm running a business, and there's people looking from the outside, and the people looking from the outside, they want number to go up. And then if number goes up, but it doesn't go up hard enough, it's like you playing a Path of Exile, where suddenly they nerf all the experience. And then you're like, well, you know, you flip the table, and they're just doing that with money.
Right.
So
That's the industry in a nutshell, for sure.
Yeah.
Like
the money got nerfed.
The money got nerfed.
The money got nerfed.
Okay, I like it. I like it.
So, Rami, I have a big general question. Like,
okay,
where do you see, like, and I'm sure you get this all the time, but I want to know, like, unfiltered, where do you see the games industry in like 5-10 years? Like, do you think
5 to 10 years is gonna suck.
Oh, it's gonna keep going. It's gonna keep getting worse. Oh, good. Oh, good. Okay.
It's not even that it's gonna keep getting worse. Like the thing is, the effects of shit happening now, you won't feel in the games for 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
Because it's happening now. These people are leaving now. We're losing them now. We're losing that talent now. These games are getting canceled now. Like, you want to know something funny happening in the indie game space? So 2023, right? Like end of the middle of the year, all the publishers were down on money. Nobody wanted to invest anything in anything because, you know, there's a fucking and also if you were doing Unity, extra bonus points, like nobody wanted that. So nobody was investing. And now this year, now that there's a bit of money flowing into the games industry again, and things are looking a little better again, and things are starting to move again, you know what's happening? All these publishers are coming up, and they're just trying to get games that will launch in 2025. So all of these publishers are buying games that are really at vertical slice level, which if you have the normal game development production, you sort of have your ideation, where we just come up with shit. We just sit around the table, we throw shit at the wall, we program the worst fucking version. We go, or we go like, oh, this sucks, right? And like, if it's, we work more, right? Or we go like, oh, damn, that's cool, or that's clever. There's these little things. And you go like, oh, that's cool. and they build a prototype. And the prototype usually that takes like a few months for a double A kind of game. For a few months you prototype, and you tell your programmer, please forget all your honor and dignity and just write shit code, because we're going to burn this shit at the end. What we need you to program the worst version of this video game as quickly as possible, so we can test it, so we can change it, so we can play with it. Then after that, you get to vertical slice. And vertical slice is the part that you normally go to publishers with. If you hear people talking about pitching an indie game, a vertical slice, you should take like 5 to 10 minutes of a video game and bring them to production quality with the art and the sound and the music and the text. And you get like a good UI, and you get this feeling that when you show the game to a publisher or to somebody or a Kickstarter or whatever, that people can look at those 5 to 10 minutes of the game and go, oh yeah, I see what you're doing. This is cool. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
I love what you're doing.
There's an old adage. I don't know if it's worldwide or whatever, but you're selling the sizzle and not the steak.
Yeah, exactly. So with vertical slice, you wanna prove that you can get the sizzle going, right? Like that's it. That's what you're trying to do. And then normally you go to publishers. And so if that period in most game development, that period is about a quarter of your development, from start to vertical slice. And then from there, you move into production. You've now defined a lot of your game, and then you kind of move forward. This is for indie games. For AAA, that balance is a little different. So if you say, okay, it took us 4, 5, 6 months to get to vertical slice, right? And these publishers are getting these games now to launch in 2025. They have like 2/3 of a normal development cycle. But these publishers need these games to hit 2025 because they have nothing else. They didn't invest in anything in 2023. So that kind of stuff is going to start happening now. You're going to see desperate games, like games that are just there because there needs to be some content. Because on the publisher side, these companies, these publishers have marketing people, they have influencer marketing people, they have producers, they have internal teams that are doing all this stuff. These people need salary. So if there's no games, there's nothing happening. And if you have a marketing person and they have no news for 7 months, good luck staying in touch with everybody, right? Like, if you get 6 emails from the same person, they're like, hey, we have nothing, hopefully soon. The first 2 times you're like, okay. But after the 3rd time, they're okay, bro, like stop emailing me until you actually have something to show. So it's that thing, right? Like right now we're getting all these weird things where developers are doing things not because they want to, but because they are out of options.
Right.
They're making games because they're out. I'm hearing pitches from companies that do great games, and they come through me, through my consultancy, to check if their pitch is right. And I sit through the pitch and I'm like, do you actually like this? Like, are you actually happy making this? And they're just like, is it that obvious? I'm like, mate, yeah, it's just not your thing. They're like, it just needs to be fast. We need to sign it fast. So we're just going to make the thing that we think will get funding fast. And it's like, oh yeah, but fucking everybody is doing that.
Yeah.
So,
When I asked the question, I honestly was hoping for like something a little more optimistic. Like all these people that are getting laid off, they're gonna pursue their passion projects, and we're gonna have a renaissance of games, like of people.
No,
like,
they're gonna go
into souls back
man.
into these games and like doing them independently and shit like that.
If there was money for that, that'd be great. That's happened before,
Sure,
right?
yeah.
Like layoffs and like there was money and investment, and all these companies, all these people were leaving these companies and starting their own shit. That was fucking amazing. You get great stuff out of it. There's no money. Like I have, like this week, I had 3 groups of developers from larger indies that all got laid off, and they're like, okay, we want to start a new thing. Like, what do we do? And I'm like, how much do you need? And they're like, 2 mil. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen. You're not gonna get 2 mil without a team that has already shipped an indie title for it. It's just not.
Yep.
It's not gonna happen. So all these people, they're going into banking, they're going into IT, they're going into like architecture. I've seen a bit. Like we're just hemorrhaging people. Like they're just leaving. And even if they didn't, they don't have the team. Like they don't have the capacity. Like what we're gonna see, which is exciting, is a lot of the hobbyist games, smaller games, single person games, like those games are going to get more space.
Sure.
That is exciting. Like, I'll be honest, like if you look at the last like period of time, like these smaller, weirder games, like I've been, I think like everybody, I've been playing Animal Well, I've been playing Balatro, I'm playing Slice and Dice is a bit older, but like Slice and Dice, like those kind of things, they'll get space. They're incredible. Love it. Like super good to see that. But the amount of those that are actually going to be interesting enough to fall in love with the way we fell in love with these games, I don't think there's that many.
Yeah. Well,
It's
and
hard to make a game like that.
the other thing too is those games are like, 3 to 7 years of work, like passion projects. Those only happen every so often. Just we're on kind of the tail end of Animal Well coming out as a solo game. I think Manor Lords was also a solo dev, and then he got help from Hooded Horse and stuff like that. So, yeah, it is nice that I guess those will definitely get the spotlight because there's not much else out there.
And there's still like for the next year or two, we're still gonna have all the shit that got funded before 2023, which is nice. Like I've been playing Lorelei and the Laser Eyes. That's a weird ass game, but it's so fucking good.
I played 2 days of that shit, homie.
Yeah, it's so good. It's good.
Really good. It's really well put together, but it's puzzles all the way down. If you don't like puzzles, you're not gonna like the game. But it's very good.
Sure. We'll talk about it. I wanted to bring up, Rami, you were talking about Vertical Slice this past week. And only bringing this up because of the relevancy with Hellblade 2 coming out this next week. The studio head was on the Kind of Funny Games cast and said that when they showed in 2019, the only thing that they had for Hellblade 2 was that trailer. They had nothing else. Like they just built a trailer essentially. And I think that was their first showing for an Xbox thing. So that might have been Xbox being like, we need something. Like, we need you to show something for
for Hellblade 2, right?
Yeah, for Hellblade 2. Yeah.
All right. So when you do a pitch, when I teach people how to pitch, I always tell them that the biggest thing you have to remember is that you have a burden of proof, right? You have to prove that you can do the thing. If you only bring sizzle, but you don't show that you can make a steak, then I don't know if you just went to a place and got the sizzle, right? But like if you just shipped Hellblade, I'm fairly convinced you can do a good Hellblade game, right? Like that's like I would not to be concerned about that. What you would want is for it to have a direction that's interesting, like a feeling, a vibe. Like trailer is a great idea for that. I love that. I've shipped I've sold games like that because if I go to people and I go like, listen, I'm going to make an arcade game, they're like, okay, we trust you can do that, and I'm like, here's 3 screenshots, and they're like, yeah, cool, love that, but that comes with 15 years of like shipping fairly well received games, right? Like I've never done a Minecraft or a Balatro or anything like that, but like usually when I ship a thing, it does okay.
Yeah.
If I go to people and I go like, hey, here's my score, here's my XP, I want to do a new thing, here's what it is, here's what's special about it. Okay, but that's the and to bring it back, that's the people we're losing right now. But for Hellblade, if they came to me and they're like, hi, we're the team that did Hellblade, we're doing this, and it's that trailer, I'd be like, yep, sure, absolutely, I'm in. Like Microsoft, let's be honest, like Microsoft,
we're just asking you to get coffee. It's like, no, I just want to be a part of this. This is great. Yeah. I'll do it. Whatever it is.
Yeah, Microsoft needed games at that point. And still kind of does need games.
Isn't it crazy? They bought like 3/4 of the games industry, and you look at their slate and you're like,
yeah, we were talking about that. There's definitely not a Halo, right? Like all that Microsoft stuff. I saw so much conversation around the idea of like, what is Xbox anymore? Because at this point, we've touted like Game Pass, and that's probably what most people would identify Xbox with or as, is like, oh yeah, they're that Game Pass company, but there's no Halo, right? Like that ship has sailed. They don't have that core game that they make anymore. They have a lot of big games like Minecraft, but they didn't make Minecraft, they bought Minecraft. So you can't say like, oh yeah, that's that Microsoft game, that's that Xbox thing.
It's the Amazon model, right? Where if you just buy up enough of everything, then it doesn't matter how well you do because there's nothing left to compete with you. You just own all the traffic
Yeah.
and all the titles, and you don't have to release them all the time. You have them, and they're yours, and then everyone else just slowly dies out. It might take 10, 15 years, but the long-term objective is you're just slowly killing your competition by, if like something pops up, you buy it. If it's something cool, you buy it, and now it's yours, and you don't have to worry about it becoming successful because you own it.
Sure.
And if it does become successful, it's your, like,
You've already
it feels
got it,
like
yeah.
that kind of attitude.
Yeah. Well, in a lot of ways, Microsoft kind of did that before Amazon. Amazon's just the more recent one, right? Like,
But I mean, like, Amazon is,
yeah,
everyone at the top made a ton of money off of doing that thing.
sure.
And I feel like that's kind of what Xbox is doing. And that's the only way I can explain them buying literally everything, and then everything goes silent.
Yeah.
Like, I was looking forward to that
They
game.
kill it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They kill it.
Yeah,
They kill it.
it's
They
crazy.
kill it dead. Like, how the fuck do you kill Roll 7? Like, how do you... Like, or Tango, or like what, like, these are good teams, good, like, I know these people.
Sure.
These are good people doing good work, well earning work, like respected work, like critically acclaimed work, shit that people play and go like, you know what, it's fresh, it's interesting, it's cool, you can talk about it, you can play with it, and like that. This is a big metric in games right now. Y'all talking shit over our games, that's like, we aimed for that. Like, this is, you put that in your pitch, you're like, oh, we have enough load time here that Jesse can say some stupid shit while the game is loading, or Zeke can like do a thing. Like,
Yeah.
this is like, we design our games with the, like, can you have a good conversation about this? Can somebody like Zeke sit there and like think about the strategy for like what they're gonna do? And can the chat disagree with him in a way that feels like, these are things that when we pitch, we think about this, we talk about this. We're talking about, okay, how do we create games that are fun to talk about?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They do that, and then Microsoft goes like, because they were in the wrong phase of development. Like they were in the pitching phase of development, so it was easy to get rid of them. There were less costs. They weren't going to pull a Square Enix and have like a minus 69.
Yeah, there was no
on
money
their
invested.
score
Yeah.
sheet.
Yeah.
Because there's no money yet.
That's true. That's true.
Somebody in the chat is asking this. Yes, really long loading times are generally something we do on purpose. Hell, Nuclear Throne's loading time officially was under 12 milliseconds, but in game it's like 7 to 10. I think we literally just had a random in there. We just like had it pick a number of seconds the load took so that people could talk about their choices.
It makes sense with the advent of, SSDs and mainstream consoles loading so much faster and everything that they just got to pad the time. Yeah. You're talking about Microsoft.
No, talking with Rami is so like eye opening at so many points. It's a peek behind the curtain. It's you see like, those like old like spaghetti westerns, or not spaghetti western, but old western movies where it's like, the storefront, and then behind it it's like two sticks holding it up and shit like that.
Yeah.
That's video games, and I had no idea.
Yeah. We were talking about Microsoft. Some of their news this past week was that the next Call of Duty will be on a subscription service. They didn't specifically say Game Pass, so I don't know if that means something else. But the Reuters is reporting that this move is expected to be announced at the company's annual Xbox Showcase, which will be happening on June the 9th later this year. But yeah. Call of Duty going to, they did say Game Pass. Okay. Yeah. COD Pass now. I could see that being like, we're talking about investor bumps and everything like that. There's a lot of people that play COD. There's a lot of people that would like to pay $15 annually, or whatever the annual, I guess, $15 once a year if you're going to play it for a month, rather than $70 once a year. But yeah.
But that's the trap that people fall into when it comes to
Game Pass
subscription
and
services,
stuff.
where
They leave it
that's
up.
how you can go to investors. You can say, we had X number of people sign up for our subscription service, and let's be honest, a lot of people are just gonna let it keep going.
They're going to forget about it.
Keep going. They're not gonna unsubscribe, and that's huge when you're saying, like, instead of buying one game for $70, they bought our subscription service and have paid $15 for the last 12 months, and that's. They're making money off of that. They're doing better than they would just selling you the one game.
Me and Zeke and Cohh joked about that last week, all the shit that we still paid for. So totally, yeah. Yeah. I could also see them doing like the Call of Duty Game Pass bundle where you get like free in-game currency once a month or something for a little bit more on top of the Game Pass, like 25 a month or something. Yeah. Could totally see that.
The big thing is there's no ceiling. That's
Right.
this is what went. Listen, I'm a grumpy old game developer sometimes. Like I'm from pre iPhone, right? Like I started with Flash games. Like I started with Flash games, and the thing that really fucked us up in the games industry, in my opinion, right? The thing that went wrong is at some point we realized that you can earn more money if you charge people less at the start, but don't put a ceiling on how much they can spend.
Right.
Right. So you get more people in, and then if you can keep them longer, you can make more money. But that switched the focus of the game from just being a good experience to being an experience you want to stay in. And that's where shit went to hell. Like we're not talking about like is the game quality. We're talking about like how's your engagement, how's your retention, how long can you get people to keep doing this thing. And you all work with the same business model. Like you want to make sure that people show up to the stream, stay watching the stream, that you're offering value in the stream. For games, that's a very different. Like we're not meant to be 7,000 hour things. We're not people. We're not friends. We're creating a thing on a computer that has to keep you entertained. Well, how do you keep people playing? Well, slow down that XP grind a little. Put a little, make the weapons a little weaker, enemies a little bigger. Get 6 friends together once a week to play the one thing. Otherwise, you don't get the shiny. And like, we're just coming up with reasons to keep you fucking busy. 90% of the time, it's bullshit. Is that bad? I mean, no, it's good that there's some games like that. Hell yeah, I played World of Warcraft.
Right.
I like that. I had a great time with like my 0.001% drop chance on some of those items. Like, fuck yeah, like that was great. My friend had it, I didn't. Fuck that friend, but like still, it was cool. Like, But now everything is that because capitalism means everybody wants to make the thing that makes the most money.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you can't compete anymore. So now everything within PlayStation, within Xbox, even a little bit within Nintendo, the only question is those metrics. The problem with Steam is just metrics. Nobody curates, nobody chooses anything. Everything gets dumped on there, and it's just whatever does good on the numbers. So Steam is probably the most guilty of the whole thing, even though they automated the shit out of it. It's like, you want to make something cool? Well, keep something that keeps playing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like those weird little things. I like Lorelei. I like that I can play a game, play for 12 hours, have a fucking notebook the size of my garden by the end of it, still not really know what the fuck I'm doing, and be like, hell yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was good shit. I love that.
Yeah. I am excited. Second time it's gotten brought up. We will get to it. A lot of just like small little news trinkets
Hell yeah.
here. Though that we got to get through. Jesse Cox, did you know they're making a Star Wars Total War game? Reportedly.
What? Interesting. I wonder how. I know a lot of people saw that Warhammer, the Total War for Warhammer, people were like, where's the 40K version?
Yeah.
And everyone was like, there's no way they could make that. If they can make a Star Wars one, they certainly can make a 40K version. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I have no idea what it's going to be.
I was kind of talking, this rumor sparked 2 days ago. I don't know where the rumor came from. I'll read more of this article here, but we were talking about like, how does that work? Right? Because you got to do it in like the Clone Wars era. Right, because that's
you don't have. I mean, like,
but if you want to do like a land battle, you go Clone Wars era, right? Makes the quote most sense in terms of there were a lot of large scale battles, but you kind of have to have. You have to have
Star Wars in Star Wars.
You got to have a space battle, right? So like, do you make it so you have battles in both?
What was the game that it was either? I can't remember if it was either Star Wars Galactic Battlegrounds or Star Wars Rebellion. There were a series of games like in the either early 2000s or late 90s that were this vibe where you had space battles and then you could go to a planet and then have a ground battle on the planet. And the space battles were cool, but the ground battles always sucked. Yeah. And so I'm curious if like
Chat saying Empire at War. Is what that was.
Empire at War. Yeah,
Empire at War.
like it was all right. It was fine, but honestly, I prefer they stick with one thing rather than try to do both things.
Yeah.
Like, give us Star Wars and have, instead of the map be, the continent or whatever, it's the galaxy. Look, dude, I don't know how you'd pull it off.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I'm not in charge. Like, it's not my
The galaxy.
like, I don't know. I guess that's why it hasn't been done yet, right? Because when you think Total War, you're thinking, okay, it's not just me managing the city, it's me managing the army, doing quests, and then going down to ground level combat where I'm micromanaging, like, that's my infantry, and there's Gorgoth the Destroyer, and Gorgoth has 26 extra points of damage. Like, you're trying to do that too. And you have to make both those people happy, because you're not just making Civ in space.
Yeah.
People love the meticulous combat and
Total War in space.
I have
not
the high
Civ.
ground, and
Yeah.
that actually matters. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how you do that in Star Wars.
Yeah, this came from DualShockers.com, which is pretty reputable, even though the name is kind of odd if you've never heard it before. There's 3 new Total War games that are being worked on at Creative Assembly, and one of them is an officially licensed Star Wars game. The other one might be the 40K game, because I think that's been rumored for a while. You brought that up as well. And then I don't know what the third is. Maybe they kind of try to do more historically accurate stuff.
They could just do
Pharaoh.
another Dynasty Warriors style game, because I loved the Three Kingdom one. Big
Sure.
fan of that.
Yeah.
We could just have another one of those. I'd be very happy.
Yeah. Speaking of leaked games, apparently Valve is making an Overwatch-style hero shooter. That was one of the bigger leaks that was talked about this past week. The current name for it is Deadlock, according to a report about the title. It currently has, quote, hundreds of people playing ahead of an imminent public announcement for the project. There's competitive gaming YouTubers that have also apparently been invited to try the build, and some of them have broken NDA. There's a lot of different photos circling around. I don't want to get DMCA'd or anything like that, so I won't show them, but you can go find them yourself. They're very easily accessible out there. Show different heroes, and it kind of looks like a MOBA, like multiple lanes, kind of like Smite-ish. Apparently this was a pet project of IceFrog. IceFrog's the creator of Dota, who got hired by Valve a long time ago for Dota 2. And so he's making kind of a weird hero shooter with lanes, Smite-ish type deal. I don't know. I guess now is the right time for that, with Overwatch being what it is. I think Marvel Rivals kind of caught a lot of that steam, as well, as that's been in closed alpha test this past, I think that closes tomorrow, so past 9 days. But yeah, does Valve need a hero shooter? I don't know.
I don't know. Does anybody need another hero shooter? Like,
I mean, the people that played Overwatch really like them, right?
Yeah.
And they're not playing Overwatch anymore.
Well, no, but like, does that mean that we need another one?
Right. Yeah.
Like, the thing with it's Valve, it'll do great. It'll probably be fairly smart. There'll be something cool in there that's worth playing. But the main thing they're gonna have is they're gonna have instant community on launch. Yeah, I mean, give me that, I'll make you a video game. But
yeah, we were actually talking about that last week about multiplayer games. They have to have an audience, and the only ones that come with built-in are the big names that have, that kind of pull. Like, you can't have an indie game, multiplayer game, unless it gets some fucking fire somehow.
Yeah, I mean, people are in chat are bringing up Artifact. Like, it's true. Like, they miss every now and then. That's. I mean,
well, they missed, but look how many people in chat said Artifact.
Yeah,
right.
They still know about it.
People still fucking know about
exactly.
it. Right, like the Valve releasing a game carries a pretty big weight to it, regardless of if the game fails or not. Yeah,
that's it. Like, that's the kind of thing with this. Like, especially nowadays, the biggest thing you need is just people to know that it's there, and whether it's good or not doesn't fucking matter. Like, like the weird thing about that is, I think most people would much rather launch a thing that everybody shits on, so that at least there's a conversation about it, than make something that just disappears, because that's 90%. Like,
Yeah.
you don't get to ship, you don't get to launch, it doesn't go out there. Like, people are making games for 3 years of their life. Last week, like, people were working on a game for 3 years and the company just shuts.
Yeah.
Nobody even has an opinion. There's no opinion. There's nothing, right? I don't know. I would much rather be in a place where I can launch something, have everybody shit on it, and then for my next game go like, oh, let's see if this one is good. Because that's the story then. Like, maybe they do better now.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's
I-
a lot of games kind of at that point right now.
Mhm.
Or it's let's wait for the patch that fixes things, right? Like
Yeah, that's a new one.
Starfield just had the patch that came in and like changed the thing. Diablo 4 has gotten like 28 hours of my past week. The latest patch is good. Like they changed a lot of the functions of that game and the internals of that game, and now it's a lot of fun. So a lot of stuff where you can launch, and if it's bad, it's bad. You can fix bad, but if people aren't talking about it, then there's no incentive to fix it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to ask you, Rami, personally.
Uh-oh.
Because we were talking about Marvel Rivals, is that what it's called? We were talking about that last week. Does the term like alpha, beta, does those fucking mean anything anymore, or do they just?
Well, no.
around randomly?
Okay. The problem with alpha and beta is that there's two meanings of the words. There's the internal one and there's the external one. Internally, alpha is a milestone we used to call feature complete.
Gotcha.
So it's when every feature in the game functions. So if you have an inventory, you need 2 items in the game, because you have to be able to go up and down. You have to be able to select one, throw it or whatever, use it. If you have like 2 pages, you need like 8 items on it. So every feature works. That's generally what we used to call alpha. Is that alpha?
Okay.
Every feature works. And for some games, especially sort of like very content-heavy games like RPGs or something like that, alpha usually also means that the golden path, so the path that you have to take from start to finish, has an implementation. Doesn't mean it's fully finished, but you can go from the start of the game to the end of the game without side quests, without additional stuff. Somebody in chat is calling it a horizontal slice. Exactly right. Like, that's it. Like, everything functions. They also call it a walking skeleton, right?
Okay.
Like, everything's there. And then beta is usually when you hit your content complete. So all the content has a base implementation in the game. There might still be polish. You might still do some shader work. You still might adjust some things, but like, all the content is in the game. And you don't need to generate additional assets or anything like that. After that, it usually goes into QA, and then you have a sequence called release management or release candidate. That's the version we send to Microsoft or PlayStation or whatever. Then they say, no, this is broken. You send it back. They said, no, this is broken. You send it back. And then, CD Projekt Red goes like, no, please let us launch it. And they launch Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah.
It's that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So the alpha is meant to be far before you should ever launch a video game. Like, that is not like, because it works, but there's nothing to do with it generally.
Yeah.
When we say alpha in the public sphere, we mean post beta. So nowadays, when we say alpha, we mean the content is there and the features are there, but it might not all be like perfect. And really, it's usually release candidate. It's the version we were going to launch anyway, but we're just going to see whether y'all like it, or it's a playtest. We're just using it as a playtest, which is usually somewhere in the middle between alpha and beta. So the words don't really mean much anymore. For alpha, expect bugs and limited amounts of content. For beta, expect effectively what used to be called a demo. And then for all of them, expect them to be broken, because nowadays lots of shit just gets shipped kind of broken. Because we can fix it.
Yeah.
But so like the public facing, or I don't know the word for it, but like the words we hear, like the Marvel Rivals Alpha is actually post beta, like pretty much ready to be shipped. It just needs, like some major tweaks, but still,
Well,
it's post beta.
It's marketing ultimately.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
it's a marketing thing. Like they're probably at a point where they're beta, like internally they're beta ready, and they're just looking at the response and seeing if adjustments need to be made.
Yeah.
there's the phrasing too. You can say this is an alpha, and mentally it triggers something where it's like, oh, if something in this sucks or is broken or I don't like it, well, it's just the alpha. They will eventually fix it. And so you don't immediately be like, this game sucks. It's like, okay, that is a weird bug and I'm not going to stress about it.
Yeah.
Subliminally you're in that like, oh, it's fine. It's fine.
I'm super happy with this stuff though. Like I think for a while we really shipped games too perfect. Like we wanted to ship games too perfect. This is gonna sound real weird in a world of broken games, but like hear me out. Hear me out. Let me please before you jump me, chat. Before you jump me.
The Zoomer word is let them cook. Let them cook, chat.
Yeah. There was a period of time.
I want to see where this goes. You have a little time, counselor.
The way the industry worked is that I think we wanted to pretend we knew what we were doing, right? And so everything was very secretive. Everything was very quiet. Like everything was internal. You never show anything. Everything is very controlled. Like E3 demos were controlled. Like there was no. And at some point we realized that it's probably actually better if we let people play a little. Let them play a little. Like see what works, see what doesn't work. Because the reality about playtesting internally or QA internally is you can have a 100-person QA team working on this game for 3 years. And like 20 minutes after launch, the people playing in total have played more than all those QA testers ever combined, right? Like you cannot out QA a public launch, right?
Oh, dude, that's why fucking patch notes come hot and fast after a 1.0 or an early access release. Because they're like, oh shit, we had no idea how much it was actually broken. Sorry.
Yeah. No, we're learning. We're like the game comes out and we're like, okay, let's see what breaks. And you just sit there and you're like, did we not catch that? No, we did not catch that. So if you press backspace on the main menu, the game crashes. Yeah. Okay. Well, and usually they're fast. They're fast bugs. They're not like huge bugs. Like a lot of the bugs that get caught, the sort of we have a rule of 7 in QA that if you have 7 people playing, you'll catch the majority of the really large issues, right?
Sure.
Like the very obvious issues that most people are going to run into, you can catch with just 7 people playing. But then all the weird smaller things, okay, like just get it out there and see what people send in, and whatever gets sent in most, let's fix that.
I just feel like the way you describe it is like, I bet I want to imagine that there's like, in Vegas how they used to have like coolers who would go to your table because they're bad luck people and they would just spread their bad luck to you. It's like they have coolers in the QA industry where it's like dude walks in, he's like a gunslinger, like I'm gonna find them bugs, and he's like notorious for fucking breaking games or some shit. Like they hire him like, this is the guy who's going to find all your shit. And I think I would be pretty good at that.
That's what Baldur's Gate Act 3 was when that finally came out. Because they had Act 1 out for so long that was really polished. But Act 3 shows up. My God, when they set you in a world where the whole point was like, mess with the world, people messed with the world. And they found some wild bugs. And that's why all the commentary online was like, man, Act 3 was so buggy. And it's like, but they went in, they fixed it. They like threw fixes immediately at that thing because there was so much to do. It really was a backspace situation where you could have done anything and the game would have broken because it was like, no one would think to do this. Who would do this? But when you say you can do whatever you want, you're opening everyone to be like, I'm going to try and do some insane things that you've never thought of. Yeah, it's a fascinating look at exactly what Rami was talking about.
And there's a weird sense of pride like when I'm playing a game and then I look at the bug report or bug fixes, hot fix, patch number 1.0, blah 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 blah, and I'm like, got that one. Yep. I found that one too. Yeah, I'm just checking them off the list. Like, yep, that happened to me. Oh, game crashed. Yep.
The QA testers in the industry are genuinely really, really good at fucking games up. Like they have a nose for what will break. It's just they don't have the time, the space, the amounts of people that are doing that. Like the most valuable thing about QA testers is they know how to report a fucking bug. It's so nice. You get a QA tester, they go, okay. Like if you ever come across a bug, you want to know how you make a developer happy? You say, okay, this is what I did. This is what I expected would happen. This is what happened instead. And I've been able to replicate this. If you send that in, every developer will just like, we love it just instantly. We love it.
Now, what if you put a story to it as you're submitting it? Do they like that, Rami, or do they
like
hate
6 or 7 paragraphs?
Yeah.
What if it's like
Usually my report starts, so there I was. And then I give them a story.
Like someone like Jesse or me would be like, letters to Penthouse, like, I never thought of it happened to me. But one day I was walking and I walked into a lamppost and I got stuck. And I kept running and
after heating up my hot pocket, I angrily stared at the screen.
Like a fucking online recipe. Like an online recipe. There's like 4 pages of like background information. It's like you need 2 tomatoes.
Yeah.
So, the thing.
Like an article out of the New Yorker.
You attach a little comic that's kind of funny. Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's marginal.
I've linked a stream VOD before and like a QA report on a thing and just said like, click this link. You can see exactly what happened as the bug
and
occurred.
Was it like the full stream, or did you at least click?
No, it was like a time-stamped
okay, thank you.
thing. Yeah, it's where it went exactly to it. Yeah,
but that kind of stuff
that's
makes
cheating because I'm a streamer.
But here's the thing: you want to know how you can make sure that a QA tester will find the most obnoxious bug in the game? Have them be a really famous public streamer. They will always find it. That's the one that'll find it.
That's true.
And, the people with like 14 viewers, they don't find a single fucking bug. But that one fucker with like a few thousand people watching, they'll boot up the game and they click new game and the game goes to the options screen and they're like, well, these people don't know how to program.
Yeah.
Like
it happens a lot to
It's always that.
Yeah.
It's always that.
It's pretty much Lyric on any game he plays. Before we get away from Steam in terms of jumping into the story stuff. I know, but it's the biggest news of the week, Rami. Obviously, everyone wants to know that Tesla is dropping Steam gaming support inside its vehicles.
I mean, I actually have to drive my car.
You cannot
this assumption I own a Tesla,
Steam
by the way,
games
which
anymore.
I do not. So real question to anyone who owns a Tesla or who had access to this: how often did you use Steam? I just don't understand the scenario in which you were like, "Yo, I can't wait to get out to my car and boot up my favorite game." Okay.
I would say it depends on the commute.
I guess if you have like a kid or someone that's like sitting in the, someone who rides along a lot, then they could like boot up Cuphead or something or Stardew Valley.
I love that you say it's for a kid, but I would like to know the numbers on that. I feel like that's not accurate. That's you wishing that that's what it was, but I feel like it's not true.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. We know what this is. Like Elon Musk wants to turn X into the everything app.
Yeah, so he's gonna have.
He's gonna sell games on X, and that's gonna be it. It's gonna be great.
Probably.
It's gonna be awesome. He's gonna find like the most cringe name for it. It's gonna be just.
Did you?
It's gonna be great.
I don't even
call
think
it the
this
X
is
Games.
Worthwhile.
It's gonna be great.
With a Z, with the fucking Z, you took it out of my head. Like it's gonna be the X Games with a fucking Z or 2 of them.
Yeah. Oh, 3 Z. It's to be XX Games Sephiroth 7XX.
So, you guys are talking about Elon. There was First off, I love Nintendo's social media team because on their official social media, they say who it is and who's typing the tweet. So it'll be like, this is Miyamoto. And then it'll talk about whatever Miyamoto wants to say. And so they did this whole thing where they're discontinuing X, aka Twitter, integration and social media integration for the friend suggestions feature on Switch. And Switch was like, yeah, we don't want to be a part of this anymore. Like this platform is really bad shape. And then like before they could hit send, there was already fucking someone linking something in their bio before that. And then they got like quote tweeted by X support saying like, we love Nintendo, but we're gotta do bibbity blobbity hoppity. The whole thing is ridiculous. Go read the news story. If you wanna...
every Nintendo post got nudes and bio replies, and they were like, I feel like this isn't brand responsible.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, I can't tweet anymore. Like, I tweet a thing,
rough,
there's
yeah.
like 7 bots in like 12 seconds. And they go through like waves. It's really weird.
Yeah.
It's been linked in bio, but it's also just been like images where I'm just scrolling and I'm like, that's not halal.
Yeah.
Block. That's not astaghfirullah. Block. Astaghfirullah. Block. And I'm just sitting there just being like, Allah, what is this? Like, what has happened? Like, come on, like, get rid of this. Like, this ain't it.
I will say, and I genuinely mean this, in a world where we're bombarded by bots all the time, YouTube bots, I just want to thank you, because even though your avatar is a butt, all of your comments aren't like, check out my hot nudes. The comments are like, you make very creative videos, and I, for one, am excited to see what you create in the future. And I'm like, these are the most supportive bots I've ever seen.
They're nice.
Like, thank you.
They're nice. Yeah, positive bots, wholesome bots. That's great. That's great.
So shout to them.
My dog is going crazy, so I'm going to go take him outside real quick. Jesse Cox or Zeke or anyone, why don't you guys talk about that Assassin's
put me
Creed
in charge.
Shadows?
Who's the everyone? Where did I go?
Rami, you're the guest. Rami, you're the guest.
I got this. I've been training for this day forever. I got it. JP,
okay.
go. Go now.
Jesse Cox, Zeke, everyone.
Anyone? Yeah.
There's only one more person.
Is it because I'm the brown one? Like, what is happening here? Like, what is it? Is it because I'm Arab? You just didn't want to say my name? Like, what's happening here?
I don't know where that came from. I was yelling too loud. I didn't hear what was happening. All I heard was Zeke take over. That's all I heard. So here I am taking over. What do you think about the Assassin's Creed trailer? That's what JP wanted us to talk about.
So we'll do it without him.
Right. Man was like, I don't want controversy. I have to go my dog, and like walked away.
I will say, like, the first thing that came to my mind when I watched it, and I'm sure a lot of people's mind, was like, it was all cutscenes, wasn't it? There was no fucking gameplay in it.
Sure.
Like, at all. Right? Or am I out of my mind?
I think you're right.
Okay. It's the sizzle and the steak thing. It's the same thing. It's like, here's this beautiful looking thing that you don't actually have any part in as a gamer. Like, you just sit there and watch this. So it's like they're not giving me anything that I want. But why do they do that? Why do they do non-gameplay? Is it because it's like unbeknownst to us gamers, like it's more widely like accepted or palatable, or what?
I mean, go.
I was gonna say, I would imagine one of the things that I see often, especially right now, May-ish, is we get that trailer, and I would imagine when that sort of like, we're gonna do an event happens in June or July, that's when we'll get it. And this is kind of like the hype you up moment, is what I think. Fingers crossed. Otherwise, I'm totally with you on the like, we got to stop just CG trailering all this, because show us the game. That's what we're here for. We want to see the game. So I don't know, but my hope is that's what we're getting.
I mean, the main thing is when we sell a game, right? We're not selling just a game. We're selling a fantasy, right? Like, we're selling a vibe, we're selling a plays, we're selling a.
Sure.
So this is the vibe one. Like, this is the vibe you're getting. It's gonna be a little grimy. It's gonna be a little fantasy. It's gonna be a little like, it's gonna have the sort of like the Japanese sort of like aesthetic. Like, it's gonna like this is what we're doing, and this is kind of the feel that you get. And then on the next trailer, they'll usually do gameplay. But fantasy is a huge part of assess. Like, let's be honest. Like, this is also something like when you get really young game developers and they join the industry, you know what they always think? They think that the entire video game has to be great, right? But like, if you think about your favorite game, like, what's your favorite game?
I'm just gonna say BioShock.
BioShock. How much of BioShock is actually a good video game?
That's like 80%. Maybe
Nah,
85.
80% of your time you're literally just walking around, man. Like you're like that. That's it. Like it's.
Well, but it's like walking
like-
through a museum though. Like that's part of the enjoyment is like looking around and seeing it.
Right. But now think about how much of that walking is just like a fucking hallway that we didn't build for you to enjoy it. It's just we had to have some load time.
Okay.
Right. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
The way memory works, right? And this is like game development is weird, man, because you learn all this stuff about psychology and all this stuff. The hard rule that generally developers use is 70% of your game is spacing. It's padding. It's filling. 20% of your game has to be good. And 10% of your game has to be great, right? The way memory works, you remember the peaks, the valleys, and the ending. Transitions. Things where things change. So in BioShock, that moment where sort of like the plot twist happens, right, with the golf club, that's a transitional moment. Everybody will remember that moment because you have before that moment and you have after that moment. But the weird thing about games is that those peaks and valleys, they're relative to a baseline, right? So if you're trying to make your entire game good, they no longer have peaks. And so people will just take that quality and those go like, well, this game is just kind of the same thing the entire time. BioShock is good because there's many parts where you're literally just walking through a hallway. You're just walking through a hallway. And then you get into this little play space, and it's this amazing, fun sandbox of all these abilities and all these things. And you're just like, you're having a blast, you're blowing shit up, you're sending bees out, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
And you remember that. And then the big story moment, you remember that. And like, so this is what Ubi is doing right here. Is they're giving you a bit of a feel of what the atmosphere is, right? Like, and these are peaks. They're giving you some peaks. If you look at the trailer, same thing. 70% of the trailer is just kind of like people just walking.
Yeah, but it's a vibe, right? It's like this is
then
the
the cool
vibe
shit.
of the game we're going for. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's that kind of thing. It's like the thing with games is the thing with these kind of like moments is that what we're trying to do is we're trying to set sort of like an expectation of what you can imagine fantasy wise. So the fantasy of this is this, you're like the shadow in the forest. Like people are scared of you. People are terrified of you. The fog appears and you are gone. That's the vibe, right? Oh, and now we're in a different place, right? Like, so there's also this beautiful green open world to explore. Great. We have a beautiful, great open world to explore. Let's hope it's a good open world, right? Somebody asked in chat where my hand is going, and I looked at the stream, and I'm like,
Jesse's gonna make the same noise, but for a different reason.
Oh, here we go. Oh, the other thing that's really important is that when you're developing games, one of the things you really want to make sure of.
But even there, that one shot that was like cool samurai with fire and like like ninja assassin with like you get like the dichotomy of what the story's gonna be, and there's the two like it's all in here. It just hypes you up on what it is, and it's giving you like, no, it's gonna be like cool. There's guns, yo. So you know what time period this is in Japan. They're just setting you up for what this is. And they shot, and then it's like this dude comes out of the shadows, and he's like, "You thought you could shoot me with guns? No, bro, I got a sword." And now you're like, "Oh, I'm so hyped to be that guy." That's Rami's absolutely right.
Right.
What was the original question? What was it? How do we feel about the trailer? What's the point of the trailer?
Why do we do so many fucking CG trailers when we do video games?
Okay.
Not gameplay.
Yeah. Well, that's because the gameplay comes. This is the preamble to marketing the thing for their Ubisoft event in the summer.
But you know the other thing that's really nice about this, whatever you think of it, you can't say the gameplay is bad,
Right.
True.
right?
Yeah.
However,
That-
there
that's the
has
other part.
been an evolution
Wow.
on the internet, Rami, because you know what you can get upset about? The fact that that guy's black.
Oh yeah. No, yeah.
Can I?
Yeah.
I want to. Earlier, Zeke was talking about steak and sizzle, and I want to talk. Like right now, the argument online should be about the check we received at the end of the dinner, because $130 for a full game is really like
Well,
they
that's
keep
for
doing it.
I mean,
Ubisoft keeps doing it.
That's
We keep
it's
letting them do it.
$70, but if you want to get the full thing, then yeah,
The
$130.
full thing is $130. Like you can
Yeah.
buy the $70 version without everything in it. Like that's like why aren't we having that conversation all the time with this?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the Star Wars trailer came out and people were like, that character is not hot enough for me to masturbate to, so I am angry. And it's like, yo, instead, they wanted $130 for that. Why are we not having this conversation? And we just keep falling for it every
Sure.
time.
Yeah.
It's so outrageous to me. It's so
Well, I
outrageous.
learned from Rami. I learned from Rami that some, if not all, of people who price their games just pick it out of a hat. So I like when I see the price of a game, I'm like, that's too expensive. I'm not gonna buy that. And it doesn't bother me because it's like they picked it out of a hat anyway.
Yeah. Well, this one, I think that's indies. Ubisoft is like, no, we're charging
Fair-
70
fair
for
enough,
this.
fair enough,
Can
fair
we
enough,
charge
fair
80 for this? We're not at the $80 mark yet. Let's do okay, 70 for this.
I mean,
And that's all in French. Those are the subtitles that I'm reading.
I hate it so
Even-
much. I hate
You get like a samurai hat with the game, right?
For a 250, you get a statue of the two.
Oh
mean,
my
that
god, I was
I've done-
kidding.
that-
Oh, fuck.
that I've done before. I'll be honest. I've bought the statue version of a game.
I don't
Actually,
know
JP
that.
has caused me.
I don't know that or anything, Zeke, because I'm not potentially thinking of buying it. I'm not part of the fucking problem or anything.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I don't know. Collector's edition. I'm a big fan of collector's editions. Like overcharge the shit out of collectors. Like that's fine. Like if you're buying that thing, it's because you fucking care. Like that.
Sure.
That's it. Like it's good. It's fine. Whatever. But like
But now collector's editions don't even feature the game.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
physical
That's
game.
crazy to me.
They
I
don't
know what's
feature the
going on.
physical game, yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying, where they've like made the collector's edition, you buy the collector's box.
You buy a box of
Yeah.
cool things, but like
and
the
it's,
game ain't
it's
in there
in addition
anymore.
to the game, which is also
It's
$60.
wild to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a
The
thing.
pricing thing is weird because it you know, like to put on the developer hat for a second, like we do need to. Prices are not working, right? Like game sale, like the way games are made right now is just completely unsustainable.
Too expensive, yeah.
And it's too like come on, the numbers on that stuff is insane. Like you know, these are
Hundreds
not real
of
numbers.
millions. Yeah.
And I think part of that is no developer costs. Obviously, part of that is that incentives are misaligned. Like the money people are working for shareholders, not for game developers. So you get that on top of that as well. But like we need, the meme. We need like shorter games with worse graphics, like made under better conditions. Like we actually do need that shit. Like it's because like look at what people are playing. People are playing like the biggest thing of the year is Balatro. Like that's the shit people are like. People are talking about Balatro.
Yeah.
Like that's the good shit. Like the size that people have to make games to justify it, because it's also the other way around. People think that you make you make a game and then you go it's $130. But Zeke is right. That's not what happened. At the start of this game, somebody went and said, "Okay, this has to be a $130 game. How do we make it How do we make it worth $130?"
Yeah.
How big does that world have to be? How many unique assets do we need to have? Like, what is like? How do you make $130 worth of video game? Right. Well,
You put a season pass in it, and you put some DLC, and you put a mission that you only get for that version
Then
of
you
the
end
game.
up with a game like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which while I enjoyed it, I will never finish it.
I'm
I
right
don't
there
know
with
how
you.
that game ends.
That game's
It's too
100
damn
hours
big.
plus. Fuck that, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. And to be honest, that's why I'm like that Assassin's Creed for people saying like, who is this for? That's why I'm excited for that Assassin's Creed, because they've said that it's going to be the size of Origins, right? And like Origins was the smallest of the three when you go from Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla. It was like the main story was like 30 or 40 hours, which, yeah, that seems about right for like an open world game.
Still,
it's still long.
Still, I'm like, you want 40 hours of my life?
Yeah.
That's so many hours. Like,
Yeah.
I really need solid 8 to 12 hour games in my life more, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
I mean, you know, the other thing that we have to remember is we're really not the target audience for 90% of these games. Like that's
Very
the
true.
weird thing. Like Assassin's Creed is not made for me or you or any of us in this conversation between the four of us. It's made for people who buy 2 games a year.
Sure.
Which is the majority of the Steam audience. Like the majority of the Steam audience buys 2 to 4 games every year. Like that's a terrifying number to me. But the majority of people who are on Steam buy less than 4 games a year. Well, then having a 300-hour game makes a lot of fucking sense.
Yeah.
You know?
The thing that I'm seeing a lot in chat, people are like, 8 hours for $60. In my mind, when I think of open world games, I'm really only getting 8 good hours in that 40-hour game. Most of it's me walking around, looking at things, doing a whole bunch of nothing, and then there's a story involved. And I'm like, yeah, I could play it for 40 hours, but in that 40 hours, am I hyped up all 40? Not really.
Yeah.
Not really.
And I think that varies from person to person. But for me, with Assassin's Creed or anything that's like, trying to think like what game has been the longest game that I've played where I've been invested the entire time. Assassin's Creed is kind of close because I just love the combat in those games, which is a really weird thing to say for a lot of people to process, I think, because the combat's not necessarily something that people are super into. Yeah, maybe Baldur's Gate, but like that's of course Baldur's Gate. Elden Ring for sure. Yeah. There's definitely games that exist.
Rare gems.
Yeah,
Like I'm just talking generally. I'm not like, if the one game you loved that turned out to be the best game of the year in 2023. That's not
really
the example I'm using.
It's not really fair. I agree. Regardless, though, I am excited for that Assassin's Creed game. I want to see gameplay of it. I'm a sucker for Assassin's Creed. I've played all of them. The only one I did not finish was Valhalla because I agree with Jesse. It was too damn long. That was a 100-hour plus game. No, I'm good.
I think the other thing is making a game that is interesting 100 hours long is really hard. Like it's just really like the Assassin's Creed also generally has a very small core sandbox. Like the amount of things you can do in Assassin's Creed is like 11 things.
Yeah,
you know, that's it. And like you can make 11 things. You can probably make a few hundred puzzles or like situations with that are interesting. But across 100 hours, by the time you get to the next like temple-y thing or something, you're like, oh, one of these again.
Well, and I would even say it's like that's a good design process because I think the other way that can go is something like Rebirth did, where there's a new minigame every 5 hours. And the quality of the minigame, some people cover your ears because I don't want to hear how I'm wrong. The quality of the minigame fucking drops drastically, and you're just like, why the fuck is this fucking trash shit in this fucking game about something that has nothing to do with this? Nothing to do with this.
Come on.
You didn't
You've never heard of like, put your best foot forward? Like, come on, man. Like, they're going to start you with something shitty and you turn off the game. They're gonna give you the steak. And by the time you're done, they're gonna give you a nasty old hot dog from a fucking bakery.
I mean, I'll be honest. I like the structure of Rebirth more than the way it actually worked out in the end. Like
I haven't finished it yet. I put 60 hours into it. I'm like, God damn.
Did you make it to like? Let me just sort of without spoilers. Did you get to like the foresty area?
I'm in chapter 11, so I'm near the end. But yes, I went through Gungaga. I went through all that stuff.
I don't know who the level designer was on Gungaga, but I need to have some words with that person because like, what the fuck is up with the trampolines?
Everyone says that. I had 0 issues with it. I don't know why, but the like level design was fine for me.
The thing
And I'm an
is, the
outlier
thing
on that,
about
I
the
know.
mini games, you're right. This one you're fucking wrong.
I don't know
You
how
do
I
not do
had
that
like
in
a
one
fine
time. You're
time.
having some cloud shit happening here. Your brain is like disconnecting.
He's seeing flashes right now.
There's like you look at the stream is actually 7 weeks of you running in fucking circles. You just don't remember.
Dude, everyone in chat was like, this zone fucking. Maybe it's because everyone in chat was like, this zone's the fucking worst, dude. You're gonna fucking hate this zone. It's fucking worst in the goddamn game. And then I went through and I was like, it's fine. Like I'm not having any issues.
I think you got by the saving grace of that game. That zone, the music was so good.
Maybe.
I think it tricked you into liking what was going on there.
Maybe so.
Because it's maybe one of the most like earworm songs in the game.
The next zone,
I'm pretty sure it got you.
The next zone after that is where I started to get really pissed off when they put those chocobo flying fucking mini games. I wanted to throw my fucking controller at that trash, dude.
Fight that little girl who was like, I don't want to be a chocobo racer anymore.
No,
and I was like, girl, you better learn the race.
No, fuck all them.
Oh, no.
Anyways, we'll do our Final Fantasy conversation somewhere down the line because I got to finish that game still.
Sure. When you have it done, bring me back because I have thoughts.
Dude,
I need to rant with somebody.
At that point, it's going to be me, Jesse Cox, Rami, Maximilian, Strippin, and Cohh. It's going to be a 6-person show.
Everybody else.
Everyone wants to talk about that. I'm like, guys, I got to finish the show. I'm sorry. I got to finish the game.
All of the 10 out of 10, like all the reviews, like this game's perfect. I've never been more convinced that while I enjoyed it tremendously, I was like, none of these reviewers played all these mini games. They didn't do all like. There's so much in it that I was like, you can't. This is 10 out of 10. If I have to pick another damn mushroom, I'm gonna lose my mind. Like you guys are crazy.
Again, the mushroom thing. Everyone talked about the mushroom thing. I was fine. I did that first try on everything. I don't know why.
Did they send you Did they send you a JP build where everything was? Just
I don't know.
Easy
it was
like, what is happening here?
That one was fine. I have issues with other mini games, but that one was fine.
What was the What was the mini game you were having? Just for curiosity, what was the thing that you had most issues with?
Ooh, chat. What? I've done
sit-ups,
every zone.
Squats.
I haven't finished those yet. I'm on the final. I think I'm on the final version. It really was the chocobo flying mini game. I think.
Okay.
It just controls like fucking dog water. Like it's just awful.
It's really bad.
It's
the reason I'm asking is there used to be this game a long time ago, indie game called Dungeon, and it is one of my favorite games ever made. I don't know if I ever talked about this, but it was made by Mr. Pedunkian, and back then everybody had names, and Cactus, who then later did Hotline Miami. And the point of this game was that every computer had a hardware ID that was created.
Oh, yeah.
And then based on the hardware ID, a different thing would be impossible to do. And listening to you talk, I swear Final Fantasy must have done the same thing.
I got
the shit out of it. You look like the nice Gongaga.
The fucking like reviewer build where I got all the nice versions of
you just like Gongaga. Every trampoline just went to the place you wanted to go to. It just did it for you.
That's actually.
Did you do the Kid G stuff okay?
What is the Kid G stuff? What zone is that in?
Kid G, the little goblin, and you have to run around and do like the cactuars. Some of them are magic, and some of them are. I thought that was super fun. Everyone I talked to was like, "That sucks, dude. That's the worst mini game in the entire thing." So like, it could just be preference of what we're good at.
My chat's saying I didn't see it. I didn't see that yet. So.
You didn't see it?
No. Apparently I didn't. That's chapter 12. Apparently,
I thought I've not seen it.
I just got to Nibelheim, I think, is where I stopped playing that game like a month or two ago. So
I mean, I will say, if you would ask me like opinion on Rebirth as a number without like, I would say it was a good 8. Like I really enjoyed my time in it. Yeah, it was a good 8.
Yeah.
It's a good game. 8. It's just it's not perfect. We can't keep like it drove me crazy. I was like, this is a perfect game, and that while playing it, I was expecting perfect. And you sold me on a lie.
Yeah, I think it's an 8. I like Remake better. Like Remake, I fucking love that game. Like start to finish. I was like, holy shit, that was a good video. Yeah. Remake, Rebirth, 8 out of 10. I look forward to JP's like 10 out of 10 because everything went easy for him.
We'll see. I gotta finish it.
All right,
A lot of that will hinge on the story. While Ubisoft was announcing, by the way, getting back on the news track, all of that stuff about Assassin's Creed, literally, I think at the same exact time, they also canceled The Division Heartland, which was their free-to-play shooter, not mobile. I thought that this was a mobile game when I first heard about it, but yeah, this was their free-to-play shooter that was coming out on a lot of stuff, and said that they redeployed the resources to bigger opportunities such as X-Defiant and Rainbow Six. And I think X-Defiant is also 1.0, which is basically they're like, hey, for people that want to play Call of Duty 4, we got that. This is Call of Duty 4. We made that. So come play Call of Duty 4 made by Ubisoft. It's out 1.0. Go check it out. I think they even got like Call of Duty Pros to market it in that regard. So kind of silly stuff out of Ubisoft. We'll see where they're at with the Ubisoft Forward in June. Here's a fun story. Stellaris got a DLC about AI that features AI created voices. And there was a lot of pushback about all of that. The director insists that it's, quote, ethical and, quote, we're pretty good at exploring dystopian sci-fi and don't want to end up there ourselves. The voice actors that we signed up and built the models are receiving royalties for every line that we create. So
I like that.
Yeah.
I'm into that.
Yeah.
So it's
No!
So it's
AI bad! AI bad!
We run that into an AI.
The latest is
bad AI.
It's called the Machine Age, and it focuses on synthetic ascension, according to their marketing blurb. At the end of the DLC store page on Steam, it says this disclaimer, quote, we employ generative AI technologies during the creation of some assets. Typically, this involves the ideation of content and visual reference material. These elements represent a minor component of the overall development. AI has been used to generate voices for an AI antagonist and a player advisor. How do we feel about it?
So I mean, so they're doing it as a gimmick, as in we paid a bunch of voice actors to do these voices, but we're using an AI version so it sounds AI-ish, so that you play as the AI characters. Like that's the vibe. It's less creepy, but you know.
Yeah, kind of. When they say ethically sourced AI voice model, what they mean is they got voice actors to
license their voices.
Record lines that were fed into an AI. And with voice, you actually don't need all that much. Like a few sentences is enough to make an AI model out of your voice. So
yeah.
Yeah, but hold on. Are the voice actors, are they allowed free, like open range to wander in and graze? And
well,
are they treated well?
I hope so. Yeah, I hope they're organic. Raised and
we put our voice actors in tiny booths where they can barely move, and then there's somebody else.
They have a little cage with just a microphone like in front of them, and they get poked every once in a while, like
Can you do that again, but with like more feeling? You know, like that's just somebody on the outside.
The director prods them with a little thing every so often. Yeah, you don't want to know. The videos are real dark, Zeke. It's bad.
Yeah. No, I don't
know. I mean, I use AI voice actors, so I feel like I should watch them, how the voice acting is made.
Mm-hmm.
I think the thing that I find more interesting, JP, about that is actually the first part.
Yeah.
Of like, we use this in ideation and like early visual reference.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think you'll see a lot more of that.
Sure.
In the nearby future of game development, like coming up with early ideas and stuff like that. It's gonna suck for concept artists.
I mean,
that's pretty much the biggest thing, I think.
I have sent things to actual artists when they're like, what type of what are you looking for? What can you give me an image or tell me, the themes or whatever? And I'll just go to an AI thing and be like, blah, 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 blah. Great. Oh yeah, that generally looks kind of like what I'm looking for. And I'll just send them that and they're like, I hate this, but it did make my life easier.
Yeah. I mean,
So-
there's really a thing there that I think is interesting, and it really depends on how the process is implemented, right?
Sure.
Exactly.
Like if you do that, then the equivalent that I would use to do is I would draw it myself. And I suck at drawing, but like if I had like a thing in mind and I'm like, hey, I want a mountain here and like sort of like, and then like I want the vibe to be that and like there's some fog here, I would just draw it and then give it to an artist, and the artist looks at it and is like, what are these scribbles? And I go like, well, these are mountains.
Yeah, you have to
That's
explain it.
fog. And, like,
Yeah.
and yeah, no, I can see how that helps, but
Dude, I have a vivid imagination and no talent.
Yeah. 100%. Exactly.
Big same.
Yeah.
I
think that's
saw
all
in
of
chat.
us.
So AI, they're basically saying like, does that mean that the voice actors will never get a job now? My hope is that contractually, they lent their voice to this game for this one project for this one time, and it isn't like they own your voice in any future game. They can use like that is what I think everyone's trying to avoid. The idea here is that they were making an AI like faction you could play, and so they went gimmicky with it, and we're like, we're gonna use the real voice actors, but then feed it into an AI. It should be just a one and done thing, and those people will get paid for the project. Is the idea? The big fear that I think that everyone has is
residuals.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
That basically they'll steal your voice, and then you'll make no money off your own voice, and they'll use you for like that's terrible.
Yeah.
And that's not something anyone wants. This, I think, is just this one project for this one faction. And, if they're getting paid, fine with me.
Yeah, it seems fairly well done.
Yeah.
For the first time, I think, in like the whole AI conversation. But people were very quick to be like, "Oh fuck, here we go! Like, let's get our pitchforks."
I mean, I
Maybe
get
rightfully
it.
so.
I get it. Yeah, I prefer the pitchforks. Like this is the kind of thing where I would much rather everybody has like a knee-jerk negative reaction to AI to the point where all of us go like, no, listen, when we did it, we got it right. We did this, we did this, we did this. We made sure that like, as long as we stay on that side of the thing, where it's like every time you use your AI, you basically have to make an apology.
Yeah.
That I much just give me that.
Or you
shit.
have to
Like,
over-explain it. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, that's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
However, but I mean, just to play devil's advocate for a second here, like the Industrial Revolution, when the assembly line came in and like tons of people were putting together shit, like lost their jobs because of that. Like does that have a direct correlation to what we're seeing with AI? Like, doesn't progress like make people lose jobs no matter what?
The biggest difference with this, though, is in, say, the Industrial Revolution, it'd be things like the horse carriage driver is replaced with the car driver, or the guy who was knitting things had to learn how to like operate the machine. This, we're getting to the territory where it's like the painter and the writer and the artist and like the philosopher are now replaced with like the things that we cherish that makes us human, all those things about ourselves. It isn't like work. This is like the relaxation and creativity of mankind replaced with a robot. Like that's the last thing we want. I'm fine with the robot being like, dude, I can lift this heavy stuff because humans can't. Like, get to it. But like, I don't want all the things that allow us to express ourselves to be controlled and taken over by like a machine. I think that's absolutely the worst way to go.
The weirdest thing about this whole AI thing is I genuinely think that, at least in the games industry, the best job to replace with AI is CEO.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like that's the one fucking job where I'm like, y'all useless anyway. Like you just
do?
Data. You just process some data, you get the numbers in, you get the numbers out, just fucking automate it. Like it is great. Like
I think I saw your take on that on Twitter, or maybe I saw someone else saying the same thing with that. Cause I was like, fuck, that's right. That's totally right.
It's like genuinely the best job to replace, like incredible savings instantly. Hundreds of millions of bonuses gone. Like you get your stocks back. You don't have to dilute your stock. All that shit instantly gone. Just get rid of the entire executive layer. Just like We'll replace it with OpenGPT 4.00, whatever the fuck.
Yeah, for
And the best part is the AI CEOs won't have to sit out there and say like the most insane thing to cover their ass when they fire a bunch of people. They won't be like,
hold on.
they won't make up something. They'll literally just look at you and be like, the line did not go up. Line must go up.
I will
And you're
only
like, oh,
allow
okay,
this,
the robot.
Jesse.
Yeah, okay.
I only allow this if every CEO AI is Johnny Five and he wheels himself out to the studio. It's Johnny Five. Sitting there looking and answering questions. Then I'm on board. That's all you got to do.
But I think Zeke, to get back to the industrial revolution, I think the other thing that has changed is that the world is different, right? The industrial revolution was localized. It was in cities. It was in parts of Europe. It was in, like there were places where these things were happening, but it sort of like rippled through the world in stages, right? Like as things went. What we're seeing right now is the world is so interconnected that if the industrial revolution had gone awfully wrong, right? Which, in hindsight, maybe it did. But like if that had gone awfully wrong, then it would just have been this one area of the world that would have been absolutely fucked, right? And the rest of the world would figure out their own shit and go from there. Right now, if this AI thing goes wrong, that's a global level, like, because it's not just like if artists, if writers, if personality, if your job, if the jobs, like most jobs, data entry jobs, if those go away, there's nowhere else to go.
Yeah.
There is no backup. There's no fixing this, right? Like it's like, and we're done. That's,
I mean, like you say that, and yes, that idea is terrifying. But I look at it like, I'm sure like this probably been posed by smarter people than me, but like, isn't the dream like to get everything automated so we can do whatever we want as human beings?
That
Like
would be
Star
nice,
Trek?
but why are they automating the stuff we want to do? The stuff
and let me bring up a different thing. Do you see artists, just as a general like term, do you see artists like putting down the paintbrush, so to speak, and using AI as the paintbrush?
I feel like that defeats the purpose of your own creativity. Like if you're the act of it. I mean, eventually there will be AI. If like this is the thing that does happen, there will be artists and AI artists, and the way we use and interact with them will be different. But like, again, it's like Zeke. I feel like you are looking at the Industrial Revolution from the distance we are from it.
Sure.
But if you think about it, every major revolution has some sort of like crazy fallout to it, and the Industrial Revolution led to so much terrible stuff before things became regulated. If you just think back to old photos of the way towns looked, the skies were filled with smoke. The streets had like crap all over them. There was like children are getting fingers cut off in factories. Sausage is made with who knows the hell what. Like it was a bad time until people went, and that lasted for decades and years and years and years. And so the idea that AI is going to come in, it's going to solve everything. It's going to be rough for a while if we go full AI. Like it's going to be messed up out there until people figure out how to regulate it. And we're so far behind regulations, we can't even keep track of just normal internet. Like it's going to be terrible for a while.
Sure. Yeah.
Zeke, I think the thing I would ask, like if you had a button that would just do the stream for you.
Yeah.
Would you enjoy that?
No.
Because the point is the stream, right? It's the connection with the people. It's the like you start the stream with an idea, but you don't.
Wait, it's different. Because if I'm an artist, it is. Yeah. If I'm an artist, I do art for the love of the game. I do art for free. Like I did community theater for $0 for 20 years of my life.
Right.
But that's the thing. Like if it was a job, absolutely. Like, but this doesn't feel like a job. This is entertainment. This is something I enjoy personally. So like artists are going to still art even if there's AI out there.
Right. But so that's the point. The problem you get the thing where this gets complicated is that art, like capital A art, and this is I'm gonna get a little into philosophy corner again. So grab a beer or something.
Okay.
But the the on the philosophical side, like art is, oh god, what did I do?
It's your
It's
fault.
just whiskey, no big deal.
The thing with art with a capital A is that's always that. Like, it's created from a person, and part of how art gets made involves the journey of getting there, right? Like that is sort of like a central part, is the way you press a thing to the way you press like a brush onto the paper, or the whatever the material is called. I forgot the English word.
Sure.
The canvas, right? Like, might affect how you move it next. Like, there's like 1,000 mini micro decisions that you're making with every move you're making. When you're streaming, there's millions of little variables like coming into it. When I'm programming, even with code, there are creative decisions that are being made that are because it's me sitting there at that point going through this process of like figuring things out. Like, the thing with AI, I think, is that the idea of it is that you skip that. You go from, I have an idea, and something comes out, and then you can say, okay, but you iterate on that, right? But like, what comes out of it is not really it's not an iteration from you. It's an iteration from a model that is fed with art, capital A art, capital A writing, like capital W
I
writing.
mean,
right?
but the thing is, like that silly argument. It's like that's what art school is. You get fed art, and then you put art out.
But the human is the part that's important there. Like, you can feed the same art into 1 million people, and you will get a different artist out of every single one of them, right? Like, I think that's the critical part, is that you as a human are part of that, right? I think the thing with AI that scares me is the only way AI will keep working and keep being relevant is if we feed new art into it. And if we made art into a thing that AI does, and we feed AI art into AI, we've already seen the research is already there. You get modal collapse. It gets weirder, it gets wronger, it gets more broken. And you know what the future of this is? That artists will have a job. They will absolutely have a job. You know what the job's going to be? Feed the model. That's it.
At least I got work.
So Zeke, like, I want to
listen. Okay, wait, before we go any further, I'm playing devil's advocate here.
Of course.
I'm not like being on the side of that. Like, I'm on the side of artists. I will never like. I will always pay artists to do art for me, like when the rare occurrence happens. But I just want to know, like, if the argument is posed, like, how does the right side of history, like, how does that respond?
But I also want to thought experiment with you real quick. So you were saying, like, hey, if I'm a streamer, I want to do it for the love of streaming. Like, my art is entertainment stuff. And so, simply put, it would be, okay, so streaming you're doing for fun, because all the AI streamers can stream all the time. They don't have to sleep. They always know what the right demo and this. So you're streaming for fun. You were like, I don't need all that money. So at some point, in order to pay bills, you then have to take a job. And that job is going to be in something. So you have to work those hours. And then that means, okay, well then do you have the stamina and energy to stream when you get home? So then you're comparing those. And then it's like, okay, well, I can't stream all the time because I had to work a late shift tonight. So then your audience collapses. And then as your audience collapses, do you have the motivation to stream as you watch the numbers go down, 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 and down? Yeah. And now you're just like, well, I'm doing it for fun. It's for fun. But the fun goes away when you slowly see that, like, I'm not reaching anybody anymore. No one cares about what I'm doing. So why am I doing this? Like, what is the point? And now you're just like, I guess I'll just go to my, like, I don't want to stream today. It's just going to be like 3 people are going to be there. Like, why would I even do it? I just go to work. And it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. And then you just stop. And that's kind of what would happen. Like, AI would just be like, I control everything now. I am the streamer. And that's kind of like, it sucks.
I just want to say, like, it sounds like this is coming from someone who's never done community theater, because I've performed full length plays in front of 3 people.
How
and
long?
It is a little disheartening, but you go back and do it again, and you get a little bit more, get a little bit less. It's just, that's what I'm saying. It's for the love of the game.
Yeah,
and that's what that means. Is that
but AI will make the game
or 0 people?
Yeah, but AI will change the rules of what the game is, and it'll be unfair.
And your attempt at doing that will be fed into the AI that will then make sure you will only ever be able to do it for fun. Like the thing with this is AI is only good at one thing, take a huge data set, statistically go through it, and get an outcome that scores well against the prompt. That's what AI is good at, right? Like that's the only thing. The only way it's good is massive amounts of data. The only way you get the massive amounts of data is by getting stuff from people who are actually doing the job, because it can't feed itself. It cannot feed itself. That does not work. So the dystopian version that comes out of this is AI is the fastest way of getting shit done, but AI needs content. So everybody that makes content, whatever content may be, whether it's your guys' type of content, my kind of content with the video games, movies, music, words, whatever, you don't do it for people anymore. You do it for the model, and the model is what people use to make the thing that they want to make. And like, I'll be honest, like, I'm gonna get so much shit for this, but like, when you're an artist, the core person you should be making art for is yourself. When you're making shit, you make it for you. And the gamer, in my case, when I make a video game, the gamer is not the primary person I'm doing this for. I'm doing this because I think this is cool, and I think the experience I'm going to give gamers is going to be cool. I think that's going to be interesting, and I think they're going to like it. And sometimes I'm wrong, and sometimes I'm right. But that's not the point. The point is, I make things because I think they're cool to make. And that's how you make. That's how cool games happen. Because we've seen what happens when gaming companies start thinking they know what people want to play.
Yep.
There you get all that. You get all this shit because the data, the statistics, they really do say that people love free to play. People love free to play. People spend so much more money in free to play. So much. It's not even. See, the numbers are fucking depressing on this site. They're depressing. The numbers.
Well, after doing this for 10 years, I am fully and 100% convinced that we as gamers don't really know what we want at all.
We're the exception. We are the people in this stream. We are the margin error.
Yeah.
On gaming that love this, that love games, that love this culture, that love the uniqueness, the art, the special, the beauty of games. The majority of people, the numbers, man, I cry at this shit, man. Like, it's horrifying. You look at it, we're like, every year, the thing of free-to-play live service is like a little bigger, and the thing of like PC, console, linear, like beautiful experiences is smaller.
Yeah.
Like, but how much of that is one of those fallacies where it's because that's all that's being produced, that's all
and
that people
measured.
Play.
And measured. That's what they measure. They measure money. So the fact that they're like, even in these corporations, man, every now and then a game comes out, and I can tell because I know how the industry works, right? They're gonna get all the shit, but I can tell somebody in that team went into a meeting with a bunch of money suits and said, "Listen, I don't fucking care what you want. We're doing this," right? And they went and they shielded their team from the pressure of that bullshit for 10 months, 12 months, 14 months, 20 months. And they just stood there as a fucking wall, keeping the game from being worse, right? Like fucking heroic shit in games that everybody shits on because microtransactions went in. But they're the microtransactions where you look at them, they don't really touch the core gameplay, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and you can tell there was a guy in that meeting that said like, hey, can we make it? How can we make it so that people actually need to buy this? And somebody just stood there and went like, we cannot do that. You know how hard it is to talk against money?
Mm-hmm.
Now fucking like how hard that is in a meeting to just sit there and go like, no, I understand we'll make 40 million more if we do your thing. But artistically, I think that's worse.
This is a great thing to think about, as since there's streamers present and watching, and this is on a streaming service. The advice I give everyone all the time when they ask, like, how do I get into streaming? How do I do this? I always say, and Zeke is a great example of this, like, play the thing you love. Don't stress worrying about, like, if people are watching. If you love a thing and it shows you love a thing, an audience for you will grow. And every time the pushback I get is, right, but I want people to watch, and I want to grow fast, and I want to do the things. And all that translates to is, like, I got to play the game that's hot. I got to do and they may not love it. And they're going to sit there and they're going to play something they hate because it's the most popular thing, and they're looking for people to just stumble on them rather than just play the thing they love. And it might take you 10 years to grow. This guy only hit 1 million subs on YouTube like late last year, this year. Like, that took 10 years. But it's because, like, you don't, like, it takes time to grow, and people see, I want to grow quick because this other guy grew quick. So I want to do this. And it's like, it's money. Money is doing that. It does it in games, it does it in everything. And streaming is another great example of it. It's like, yo, if you want to be good and you want to have an audience and you want to enjoy yourself and you want this to be the thing you do for fun and you want to Zeke it up and like, I do this for passion, play shit you love. And you will never, won't feel like you're working. But the problem is, it's like, oh, God, I got to pay bills. I want to make money. I want to like go travel. I want to go to conventions. I want to do stuff. And so you're chasing that now. It sucks.
That's the first thing I tell people is do it because you love it, not because you want to make money.
Yeah.
Like if go in with the idea, like if you don't love doing this, maybe this isn't the thing for you. Like if you wouldn't do this for free for 0 viewers to start with, then like maybe it's not for you. But like I
also feel like
describes a passion. Like how many of the greats, the greatest artists of all time, died fucking penniless because no one bought their shit, thought it was valuable until they died.
Sure.
I also feel like there's a generational difference here, because I'm willing to wager that at least for, everyone on this call, in the beginning, it wasn't like, I know YouTube, Twitch, it wasn't
a job.
It wasn't about money. It was a hobby passion thing.
We existed
were
before subscriptions were on Twitch.
And then suddenly you were making money and you were like, what the hell? How'd this happen?
Yeah.
So, okay.
There's like an appreciation a little bit more because you didn't see it as a career. It was a hobby that suddenly you made money for. And it like, now it's a job. People see, oh, that's a job that I can do and I can be that. And it's a different thing.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna take the brown person position on this. And the brown person position
Let's hear it.
is very simple.
Okay.
I have a brown parent.
Okay.
Telling a brown parent I'm gonna be a game developer is like kind of shit. Like that ain't like we're not doing that. Like you're gonna get a real job, right? So for me, when I went into game development, right? For me, it couldn't just be because it was fun, right? Because I was gonna get my ass, like I just could smack through the room like that. I was that was not gonna work. So the thing I think that I learned is that you can, if you want to do this, and I think all three of you are probably good at this same balance, is you have to be good about the business. There is a business to this. There is an income. There's a job. There's an audience. You have a brand. But at the heart of it, always needs to be truth, right? Like at the heart of what you do, always has to be this genuine, this part of you that is genuine and true. And if you don't protect that, if you let the business steer where you're going, that's when shit goes to hell. If you only do it without any consideration for whether you're actually going to be able to pay the bills at the end, you're also not going to do best. Because the best version of this, you have the resources, you have the time, you have the income to be able to keep doing this, to wake up in the morning, sit behind your computer, stream or develop or code or whatever the fuck it is that you do that is creative, right? So at the start, every artist at the start has to have this little bit of privilege to be able to do this, right? To start, to zero money, zero interest. And you know the easiest way of having that privilege is you're in school. There is no expectation of you earning money. There is no expectation. Or you have a job that allows you a little bit of time at the end. Or there's, a partner pays for your income or whatever it is, that little bit of privilege that allows you to just fuck around and find your voice, right? Who it is you are. Because like, Zeke, having talked to you when you were slightly drunk, I can imagine.
I'm slightly drunk right now.
See, the version, the voice of you when you stream is probably something you stumbled upon at some point that felt just very true to who you were, who you wanted to be, and how you wanted to interact with this. And it was probably fun, and it was exciting, and it was cool, and it was interesting, and it allowed you sort of explore this space and like be, because you're, like you said, community theater, right? Like there's a bit of theatricalness to how you stream that is not with JP, right? The JP is a different type of voice, right? And Jesse, same thing. Jesse's a different kind of voice. And same thing for me as a game developer. I have a different kind of voice. And me finding this voice took forever, mate. Like, people think I just went into the games industry knowing my shit, mate. Like, I didn't even know how to, like, she told me how to, like, just do anything in the games industry. Like, fuck, I had no idea. I just stuck around for 15 years doing stupid shit, and all the shit that worked out, I just name as things that are smart, and the shit that didn't work, I name as things that are bad. You know? But that's the thing. I think the point about what we do is that where we are in our career, we're lucky to operate on this in this place where part of what we do is art with a thought of the business, but we steer by what we care about, and that's what sets it apart from these corporations. And because the shareholders, they put the money above the meaning. They're steered by money. They're controlled by money. Phil, again, at Xbox, literally said this, explicitly said this, like, I love this, I agree with all of you, but I have a company to run. And I have shareholders, and if I don't please the shareholders, we go down. Right? It has to, like, I think the only way we're going to save this games industry, if we can get it.
Wait. Are you defending Phil? Because that's a bad play. That's a bad play. I've seen it go wrong. Other people have tried, Rami. Don't do it.
Here's the thing. If there's one thing I've learned is that many things I say can go terribly wrong. And
No, don't worry, Zeke. Mike Ibarra already beat Rami to that. So you're fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
We're safe for now.
Yeah.
But it is the privilege you're talking about is absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. I think everyone has who is successful and long-term in what we're doing has had some sort of privilege going into it that they've been able to, I don't want to say exploit, but use in order to keep going. And a lot of people, even watching us right now, are definitely of the mindset that, like, look, that sounds awesome, but I have bills to pay and I got a job. Like, most people simply cannot. And that goes back to even the AI conversation. At a certain point, most people simply could not compete with AI. And so, like, look, I'll go do something else. And that's the real, like, downside of all of it is, you know, life. It will kick you in the balls, man. And that's sometimes people are a little, like, privileged in it. And I'll admit that completely.
Yeah.
You know, the shitty part about this is they'll replace who kicks you in the balls with an AI as well. There will be no art to getting kicked in the nuts in the future. It will just be statistically generated, the most painful kick.
Yeah, but at least we know what to expect then, you know?
Yeah, well. Yeah.
That's not good. That's not good.
I mean, I don't want to get kicked. I don't want to get kicked in the nuts by an amalgamation of other nut kicks.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to know that I'm going to get kicked in the nuts by an amalgamation of nut kick. Yeah, I don't want to know it's coming, JP. Where it's like, we all know it's going to happen. I don't want to know.
I mean,
worse.
I want to further this conversation and ask, instead of a bad thing happening to you, what if you were given if you had to have a surgery, would you rather it be performed by an AI or by a human, and they both have 100% success rates?
Human.
Yeah, human, easy. What? Human.
Just
if they both have 100% success rate.
If they're both at 100, that's easy. Human.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty split in chat. I would go AI.
I mean, here's the thing. You remember that Tesla that didn't see the truck because the truck was blue?
Totally, yeah.
Yeah, I think of that one. I think of that one a lot. You know, I fly airplanes.
I think of the yips. Like AI won't get the yips, but a surgeon or a golfer or a human can get those.
The human could be having a bad day. But if we assume 100% success rate, then I guess we can't assume that he could be having a bad day. Yeah.
I mean, but Rami's right, though. There's things that a human brain can pick out and deduce that AI simply cannot. because
Unless it's trained to, yeah.
well, yeah, we'd have to train it, but that takes so long, and that's why most AI right now is not that, because it's just
Yeah, there's no models
too
for
much
it.
is
Yeah.
involved.
Well,
It's
see,
people
when
like,
I
let's
think
go blue.
about this, have you guys seen Prometheus? It's the
Sure.
precursor to the
Yeah.
Alien movies.
Yeah.
When she gets into the med pod, and the med pod like goes and like stitches her up like super fast, and like that's what I picture when I picture an AI surgeon. I picture something like doing the disinfect, like everything is so much quicker, so much more uniform, so much cleaner. That's what I picture in my head. So that was why it's like
All
it's
right,
hard for
hold
me
on.
to like.
All right. So
I
like,
changed
make
my
that
mind.
decision.
I've changed my mind. If it's the doctor from Voyager, then yeah, I'm fine with it. I'm all right.
Then you want-
Hologram, dude.
Yeah, if it's the doctor from it's the doctor.
Wait, is
I'm
that
all
the guy
right
that
with
has
it.
the
I don't
hair?
like him. He's too
He's
serious.
bald on top,
Yes.
and he just
I'm
okay.
all, you know what? I've changed my mind. If it's
Okay.
him,
All
we're
right,
in.
fair.
I'm in. Yep.
Fair.
in
So if
airplanes,
it's an AI to look like a human, then you're on board.
Yeah. Oh, then I'm in. Yeah. Take over AI. If you look like me,
I
it's
didn't
fine.
even think about that, dude. Like, I didn't think about the doctor, the hologram doctor from Star Trek.
I love that dude.
I'm in, dude.
listen, here's the thing. Two things. In aviation, in airplanes, we have autopilot, but there is always a way for people to overrule the autopilot. When that isn't there, you get big airplanes that fly into the ground because there's a bug.
Yep.
Right? Like because a sensor is wrong, because there's a smudge on the camera, whatever it is. Like the
Well, yeah.
so here's sort of the backup point. I'm a programmer. Right? My job is to work with computers and get them to do the thing I want. If you ever read up on like math, right, in computers, Zeke, how much is
Well,
like
I gotta write this word down. I've never heard it. MATA
what is 2 plus 2?
4.
Right.
Yep.
If you ask a computer what is 2
Sometimes.
plus 2,
Yeah.
it should generally be 4, right?
Right.
If you ask computers to work with decimal points, at some point you have something called a floating point inaccuracy, right? Where a normal sum suddenly is slightly off, right? And the further you go from, like, for example, the center of the universe, the more true that becomes, right? Because these small things add up. That's why game worlds usually, instead of having the player move further away from the center of the world, we try to keep the player as close to the center of the world. So when you have like big space games, we're not moving the universe. You're not moving through the universe moves through you, right? Like that's kind of like a trick we use. Computers.
Wait, I've
The
seen
thing
Event
that computers-
Horizon. Is that
Yeah,
that what we-
By the end, you're
absolutely.
like,
That's
yeah,
exactly
yeah.
that's exactly what I meant, Zeke. Thank you.
wait. So you fold space and it becomes the
Right through
same
it.
point.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Anyway, the thing I'm trying to say is inherently, I don't trust computers. I just don't. I don't. I'm sorry to the AIs listening to this thing. I don't trust computers without human oversight. As a pilot, I don't. As a person, I don't. As anybody, any system whatsoever, unless there are people that are really fucking good at understanding what's happening in the computer. Here's the thing. Computers are much faster than us. So small tasks that computers can do in an airplane, an autopilot is always going to be a smoother ride than a human pilot, because it can take all that data and like figure out exactly how to keep the airplane exactly straight. But when something goes wrong, when shit hits the fan, I want a human there. So if you're asking me who's going to do the surgery, please a human. Please a human, because if anything goes off, if the computer sensor gets a splat of blood on it and it decides that the blade is like half a meter too far south and it just starts like cutting my face into, like, that's it. We're done. Like the computer decided, oh shit, Rami is 7.5 meters long. Too bad. Like, no.
Sure.
No.
Like,
I think I got it. It's a trick question. Android data. Get data to do it.
I'm just saying, the EMH on the Voyager, because he's a hologram, blood can't splatter on him. It would go through him.
It would go through
And
him.
I'm just saying, that's my guy. I'm in. I'm
Okay.
back in. We need holodecks.
We're back on the holodeck.
Get on it, science.
Yeah. Well, Microsoft was getting there, but then they are they still doing holodeck stuff? Is that still a thing?
Didn't they get rid of that? Didn't they scrap that department?
Dude,
I mean,
I forget.
they scrap all departments.
this checkmate, Rami. Jedius from JP's chat said, but an AI surgeon can't sneeze during surgery. Checkmate! Boom! No sneezing, no accidental.
They have a mask. They can let go of the thing, you know. Like...
No, but they have the knife in their hand and they got to sneeze. And it just sneaks up on them, and then
I mean,
it was a joke. Just laugh. For fuck's sake, give me a lol or something.
Have you heard the conversation we're having? We've been talking about the end of the world, the games industry, and life. Like what?
No,
like,
that's all there is, Rami. That's all there is.
Put the camera back. I want to play with Jay.
Yeah, give us a moment. Hold on.
You're gonna spoil the upcoming summer, but yeah.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
I forgot what we were talking about.
There, life is much better now. There we go.
Now jingle some keys.
Good. Welcome back.
Oh God.
What a great show.
Video games. The rest of the
AI
news,
can't do that shit.
That's true. Yeah. The rest of the news is just rattling off numbers and sales. And Zeke, you were talking about Little Kitty Big City last week, right?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, that sold 100,000 units in less than 4 to 8 hours. So it found an audience, which is awesome.
You don't fuck with cats, man.
Yeah, cats always sell well.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Well, and like I said, it's like Little Kitty Big City. Say what you want about it, but if you like cats and you know how they act and stuff, if you've ever been around them, it's cute, but it's accurate, and it's not just like a cutesy bootsy. It's like it's got some gameplay to it, which is, fun. Yeah. Actually.
Helldivers 2 continues to sell. That's at 12 million sold in the first 12 weeks since release. So that was as of May the 5th. So that was 14 days ago. 12 million copies. Yeah, that's a runaway success right there.
18 countries.
Yeah.
I was waiting for it. I saw it loading up. I was like, here we go.
Accurate.
No, I saw him like he was flying through the air for the alley oop. It's like,
yeah, I knew it was gonna happen. I was waiting.
It's true. That's true. Here's another crazy number. Grand Theft Auto 5 has now sold approximately 200 million copies, according to Take-Two.
Well, it's time to get some layoffs there.
Yeah, I think they better be laying people off. There was also the news that Take-Two, Grand Theft Auto's publisher, and devs have narrowed Grand Theft Auto 6's release to fall of 2025. So, still got a while for that. But the next Grand Theft Auto at least has a season, I suppose, tied to it.
You think that game will sell at all?
Is it gonna do
what?
Sorry.
Well, too many questions. Rami, what was your question?
Zeke first.
Zeke, what was your question, Zeke?
I don't remember. Go ahead, Rami.
I like how are everybody's bets on Grand Theft Auto 6? Like what are we gonna get? Like is there gonna be like a thing that's gonna make people go like, ah, fuck, this ain't it? Or are they gonna nail it again?
It's gonna be 6 or 7 weeks of a controversy about nothing, followed by people being like, actually, it's very good, followed by kind of silence for a while, followed by we sold 87 billion copies. Like that's how I see it go.
I think they're gonna sell a lot, regardless of quality, just because it's the next Grand Theft Auto. Like it's
right.
The idea that the industry is like the amount of executives and CEOs that use the terminology like the next Grand Theft Auto is like a, paramount milestone in video game entertainment. It's going to sell a lot, just no matter what.
But is it going to do 200 mil? Because you said 200 million units?
Yeah, I mean, it depends what type of online support I think they have for it. 200
million, that's 10 times the entire population of my country.
It's insane. You got to also remember that's over 10 years? Like that game launched on the 360 and the PS3.
Still, though.
Think about
that's-
that. That went through
100
almost 2 full generations of console cycles.
How many millions of those like units sold are double or triple dips?
Probably a good, a
Probably
lot.
a lot. Yeah.
A lot, yeah.
You
I know I played. I have 2 copies of it.
I think I've got
At
2
least,
copies. I definitely have a console and a PC copy. I might have 3 copies of it because console and then PS4 and then PC.
But it is to be clear, it is a aberration from the norm. Like just looking at the list of the best-selling games, Minecraft is number 1 with 300 million.
Yeah.
Grand Theft Auto 5 is 200 million, number 2. Then the next one is Tetris.
Tetris, yeah.
At 100 million.
Yeah.
And then it drops down significantly to Wii Sports.
It's all
then
Nintendo
PUBG,
stuff. Yeah.
then Mario Kart, then Red Dead Redemption 2, and then Super Mario Bros. Super Mario Bros. 58 million. So like that's the drop down's crazy, and that's so, you know, this is something I don't think to expect it to be replicated would be insane. If it happens,
Yeah.
No,
I was like,
one must compare Rockstar games only to other Rockstar games.
Yeah.
sure, but even then, if you look at the other Rockstar games, only Grand Theft Auto 5 is up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
RDR2.
I don't know.
It's not
No,
up there
you're right.
sales wise though.
You're right. I was thinking
I don't
Grand
think
Theft
so.
Auto, Red Dead.
Okay.
The other thing about Grand Theft Auto is the 200 million units you said, right?
Yeah.
That
Not
doesn't even
dollars.
include.
That's units.
That doesn't even include their free to play stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? The 200 million unit sales at like what? Let's say like $20. Like let's average that out to $20. That's the start of their income. That's where they start making money.
Yeah.
Like there were rumors in like the hack that this game is like a budget of like in the billions or
In the
something.
billions, yeah. I remember
In the
seeing
billions. That makes no sense anywhere except for there.
that for Rockstar. Well,
Yeah.
if
And
No,
actually,
it honestly reminds me of that scene in The Big Short, where they talk about like this is what's on the table. You're seeing this on the blackjack table. These are the bets, and then the crowd around them is where the actual money is. It's like that's where the real bets are going on. Like this stock is doing well. I'm going to bet on this, and then people are like, you know, making money off of that shit in the background, and no one. It's like not on the front page.
yeah, I mean, microtransactions in GTA are astronomical. Like probably those 200 million units sold is probably a drop in the water compared to the ocean that is the MTX sales of GTA.
Like I said, the numbers are depressing, man. Let's not go back to the numbers. Nobody mentioned any more numbers in this entire show.
I've got nothing but numbers for you, Rami, for the rest of the
Great,
news.
there we go.
Ghost of Tsushima is now the biggest single-player PlayStation debut on Steam, surpassing God of War. I think it crossed 57,000 concurrent players on the launch. I don't know what it's currently at, but as someone who gave that game of the year, good. I'm glad people are able to play it. That game is fucking gorgeous.
So good.
It has, in my opinion, the best intro title card scene of any video game that I've ever played.
Assassin's Creed 2 wins that one for me, but Ghost of Tsushima.
Okay, I mean, Ghost of Tsushima is really good when you're going through that water or going through that field of flowers.
Yeah,
And it hits it.
yeah, gorgeous.
good.
Such a good game.
Yeah.
Oh, so
Very
much
good
good game design in that game. Oh, gives me shivers still.
Yeah.
Infinite for me.
It's fantastic.
Bioshock Infinite.
Oh, yeah.
I love that opening scene.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that one's good too. That one's good. too.
right. But Kingdom Hearts, guys,
Uh-oh.
come on.
No, that's song. That's song.
I'm done with this show. I'm getting out of here.
Jesse, we need Zeke's headphones on back for this. I typically, Jesse,
Simple and clean is the way that you make me
Rami
feel
sinks
tonight.
into the back like Homer Simpson.
I'm unable, Jesse, to really discuss Kingdom Hearts with my usual 2 co-hosts. So you are correct. I actually concede Kingdom Hearts is the #1 intro. Until it's just me and Zeke and Co. Then
I don't know that I believe that, but you know, I'm gonna say it anyway.
You know what? Metal Gear Solid 1.
Hell yes.
okay,
Just the dude in an elevator with the logo above it.
sure,
That's it.
it's pretty good.
Simple, clean, effective. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you ever climbed a ladder to Snake Eater and had the best day of your life? I'm just saying.
It's not bad. It's not bad. Continuing with game sales, Manor Lords has sold over 2 million copies. That's fantastic. I think they had like 3 million wish lists, so it's pretty cool.
I missed the
2 million
era
people
of
bought it.
indie development where whenever shit like that happens, somebody would make like a demake called Manure Lords or something. And like
Yeah.
I missed that era of indie game development where just in 2 weeks there would be a version about shoveling shit.
Sure.
Oh.
Here's a crazy stat. The Switch is now the most successful platform for the main Pokemon series, with over 96 million units shipped on the Switch so far. The closest platform for the Pokemon series to that is the Game Boy and GameCube, I think. What is GBC? Yeah, GameCube. That would be 75.
Game Boy Color.
Oh, Game Boy Color.
Game Boy
Game Boy Color. Thank you. Yeah, that would be 75 million before that. So people still buy Pokemon on shitty hardware. It doesn't matter if it's
Here
shitty
it's
or not.
popular.
Yeah,
Dude,
it's big.
when I worked at the pawn shop, and we would, because I worked on the online section, we sold stuff on eBay, like collector's items and shit like that we couldn't sell for as much in the store. And one of those items was any fucking Pokemon game.
Yeah.
Any one of them. Any one of them was worth like $5 to $10 in the store and 20 to 40 online.
Yeah,
Every fucking time.
it makes
So
sense.
anytime we got a Pokemon game in, they'd be like, like the storefront guys would be like, don't snake that, we'll have nothing to sell. It's like, too bad, bitch. We're going online with that because that sells way more to someone in Des Moines than someone here in Montana.
There you go. And then the final bit of news before we go to Jesse for some Final Fantasy 14 stuff.
What?
Jeff Keighley
What?
has announced
It's
the
Jeff
first
Keighley time.
55 partners that will
Key
join
3.
him for Key 3 this summer on Friday, June the 7th. We got 55
Jeff
folks. This is round 1, implying round 2 is coming up.
Oh, fuck.
I mean, okay, but here's the thing. This is the
full
thing, right?
Yeah.
I gotta be honest. I gotta be honest about this. This is giving me the same vibes that open world video games give. At some point, it's enough. Like 55 partners, and that's round 1. Like, what do I don't need? Like, I don't want to get out of this thing exhausted with what's happening. Pick like 12 good things, man. Like, Jeff, please. Like, just pick 12 good things. Just show those to me.
Did you watch, by the way?
real quick.
Okay,
Please
go ahead.
please keep talking about important stuff. But JP, can you make me small and make me that logo?
What logo?
You'll see it.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
There you go. Okay, keep talking.
Hold
Yeah.
on, I gotta shrink it a little bit.
Someone put actual time and energy into making that logo, and you are
Yes.
defiling it.
Don't worry, it was made with AI anyway. It's fine.
There you go.
But
Thank you.
What was I gonna say?
I just
Oh
isn't
yeah,
this-
Rami. I have to ask? Did you watch the Triple I initiative?
Yeah.
Okay, as someone who has watched almost every major event announcing games for probably 10 years at this point. Was that like way too much, way too fast without break for you, or was it on point?
No, it was the same for me.
Okay,
There's too
all
much. I feel like everything is kind of too much at the like. There's so. I think we're at the point where everybody's just like, you know what, we're done. I wish we were back. I think this is one of the things I like most about sort of like influencers, right? It's like, okay, there's two types of influencers. There's two types of influencers from the games industry, right? We see two types of influencers. There's one that it doesn't fucking matter what they play anyway. It's not the point. People don't watch for what they play, right?
Sure.
Like it's not it. They're there because they have this connection to the streamer, whether it's parasocial or genuine. Like it doesn't matter. Like, but they're there because. And then there's the people that are actually probably the closest to what we used to have as curators, they have a vibe of game that they like. People know that that's the person you go to when it's this kind of game. They might play some different stuff, right? But you know that even whether they play just one genre of game, of multiple genres of games, there's a specific thing that they like. Back in the days, that used to be magazines. You know, you would have gaming magazines, and it would always be like the one person where you're like, if that person likes it, I will fucking like it. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I wish events were more like that.
More tailor-made or more.
I wish that I knew what Jeff likes playing. Right? This is the Jeff
you
show.
want something like with more of a single vision, a single person's like through line through the event.
Yeah. I think that makes sense. It's a good point. I don't know what Keeley actually likes. That's a great point. Like, what is? I think he likes Valve games.
We know he likes Kojima. We know that.
That's true. He does like Kojima. He's a big fan for Kojima. He likes.
I wonder if he just likes the guy or he actually likes the games.
That's a genuine fantastic. I was thinking the exact same thing, Zeke. I was like, I don't know if he's a fan of the games or he just likes the man.
Yeah.
Like, because we never see him playing it. We just see him hanging out with Kojima.
That's right.
So like,
yeah.
Maybe they're just friends, but it doesn't mean he likes the game.
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay, my arms are getting tired. Can you make me normal size again?
Sure. Yeah.
I hate that you moved little tiny Zeke. Like, come on,
thank you.
Guy.
Oh God.
Come on.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.
Can you make me real big now?
If you want, yeah, you can take over the.
So I've always
had the idea that I'm just fucking enormous. This is how I feel all day. I just feel real big.
This is
okay.
This is the silliest. The silliest thing. Silliest thing.
He's doing it with more fingers now than just one. He's got the whole hand in there.
Of course he is. Of course he is.
I think if we position it perfectly, my finger just kind of disappears here, so we could probably do something with that.
Just open your mouth and tell your face. There you go.
Just nibbling on his fingers.
He smells my Rami.
How much time? We got 20 minutes. Here, I want to go through all these and see if we can figure out what they're going to be showing. 2K has announced that they're going to show a beloved. I mean, this might be a later show, but it said that a beloved franchise is getting a new thing. Is that a Borderlands? Is that a BioShock? What?
I'm putting my money on Parasite Eve. That's right.
What?
Taking a swing.
2K
What if?
games?
Don't you do that, Jesse. Don't you get my hopes up for
Oh, it's
Parasite.
specific to 2K?
It's specifically 2K. Yeah.
2K?
Yeah. So it's got to be a
I'm gonna
Civ
say
7.
Civilization.
Yeah. I hate
Civ 7.
Amazon's logo, by the way, because it just says games.
You know, it is about time for another Xbox. Jesus Christ. XCOM.
Yeah, it could be XCOM, maybe. Could be.
But it's been a while for Civ. And I feel like a Civ 7 would be kind of hype.
Yeah.
If it's a good game. But like the idea of it, the concept, I'm always down for a Civ game.
Yeah, I don't 2K, we kind of have an idea. Amazon, is New World done? Like, what is Amazon also doing?
Oh yeah, New World is done, dude. It's done.
I don't know what Amazon.
But Amazon games, just like Netflix games, they're buying up all sorts of indie things. So,
but wait, you guys. Like, I'm just pulling up the 2K list. Like, what if it was New Motocross Mania?
Sure, that's beloved.
Because I fucking love that.
Wait a minute. Why is
go on?
Why is
I would
I'm here for that. Yeah.
Yeah, like let's go.
Wait, Amazon is publishing the new Tomb Raider?
It is. Yep. We'll probably get that.
Okay. I guess
Amazon's got a whole Tomb Raider initiative thing. Aren't they doing a TV show as well?
They are doing a TV show, and they're having the Fleabag writer and star write it, which kind of could be cool. I don't know what Amazing Season game is.
Oh wow!
Does anyone know?
I don't either.
I don't know who that is.
Did you know 2K did a Dora the Explorer game?
Are you telling us it's time for the sequel?
The sequel,
I
Dora.
think so.
Is she done exploring and now she's Dora the Destroyer?
Yo,
Oh, hell yeah.
I'd play
Oh,
that.
hell yeah.
I'd play that.
They stole my backpack. I'm gonna get it back.
I'd play that. Annapurna, who knows? That they have crazy amounts of games that they put out. Arc Games.
Dora the Defiler.
Dora the Defiler, that's pretty good. I don't know.
Swiper, no swiping.
Arc Games, I don't know what that is. I think they've probably been at the past. Atari, fucking who knows with that.
Atari, didn't they do the last time they had were putting out a ton of new, like, old games?
You might be right.
Sega's doing that.
Yeah.
So I feel like Atari had a thing, but I can't remember.
Yeah, Bandai
Isn't Arc
Namco
Games-
probably.
Our
Weeb
games
stuff.
is what used to be Perfect World, right?
Oh no! Chat says Arc Games is Gearbox. It's Gearbox's republishing. Or sorry, Gearbox is publishing.
Oh, they're doing
rebrand.
Star Trek Online stuff. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bandai
So,
Namco, I'm almost up for Bandai Namco stuff. They like
it's Weeb
I
stuff
like-
for Elden Ring DLC.
Bandai Namco for me is like a coin flip.
Yeah.
It's
Sure.
like you get it, and then you're either gonna have a good time or you're gonna delete it after 12 minutes. It's like one or the other. I've never had a Bandai Namco game where I was like, this is like a 6.
Yeah.
It's either like 14 out of 10, or it's like, please remove this from my memory.
Yeah. True. Bloomhouse Games. That's probably some scary shit.
Yeah, it'll be a horror game for
yeah.
sure.
Boca. What is they? I don't know what they do. I think that's a newer studio. I don't know what they do. Capcom, who knows? Capcom is kind of on a
Akuma, bro, it's happening.
probably Akuma stuff. Do you think we see gameplay of not Wild Hearts, Jesus, of Monster Hunter Wilds? Is that?
Oh, 100%.
You think we see
100%.
gameplay of that?
Yes. They'll do a whole it'll be a person pretending they're playing the game or some
hope.
nonsense. It'll be a whole thing. I have to believe that.
I hope.
That's gonna be huge.
Can I take 1 second on Bokeh Game Studios?
Let's hear it.
It is by Keiichiro Toyama, who was from Sony Interactive Entertainment. They're doing a game called Slitherhead, which was announced at the Game Awards 2021.
That's right.
But
Yep, I just looked that up.
this is the quote that I want to have. Their first project is an action adventure game with horror elements, marking its return to the genre after more than a decade. Producer Sato also revealed that the gameplay would force players to make sacrifices, some of them being quite nasty.
I remember that. I remember that preview, and it was wild.
Yeah, the trailer. Oh, yeah, I forgot about the Slitherhead trailer.
Yeah.
Yo, okay.
Could be fun.
And Slitter. Slitter.
Yeah. Deep Silver, Dead Island, something or other. Like, what else? They publish a lot of games. Could be anything. Devolver, who knows? I'm excited. Discord is getting in. What?
My favorite game developer.
I don't know what Discord's doing there. Dolby, I don't know what they're doing there.
It's weird, JP, but if you're ever on Discord, sometimes you see people playing those like Discord games in Discord.
I've never seen that.
I mean, I didn't until like a month ago, and now I'm
it's
aware
a
they
thing?
exist, and it's blowing my mind. So,
Okay. All right. EA could be really anything. There's probably something Star Wars related. What is the next? Oh, Dragon Age, probably, finally. Is there Battlefield? We might get the new Battlefield. Who knows? Embark. It's another studio I don't know off the top of my head.
So they point of order. They have not released like round 2 yet. This is just the first thing.
This is just round 1. Yeah, round 2's not out. And we'll probably do this
Okay.
again with Co the week of in like a month.
Sure.
So this is
Embark is the company that
The
makes
final.
the final.
The finals, yeah.
Oh,
Not to be mistaken for Embracer. That's something else.
right.
Yeah.
Epic Games.
Epic, never heard of them.
Could be anything. Trying to
Small
see
company.
what is the A with the halo above it.
What?
Right here.
A with the
Probably
halo.
Angel something, I'm guessing.
I don't know what that
Oh,
is.
no. It has to be. They're in alphabetical order. So it has to be an I.
Isn't
What?
that? What are you talking about? Which one?
No, he's
This
absolutely
one
right.
right
It's
here.
I'm 8-bit, Iron Man. Like, yeah. So basically, it's what the? Yeah. Why is your logo an A if it's an I name?
I don't. Indie Angels is what someone in chat's saying.
Okay.
I've never heard of that.
Let me look that up.
It is Indie Angels.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
That's my favorite when I have just no idea what that is.
Operation
really bad.
Tango is on their splash page. Last Epoch. Last Epoch is them.
Oh.
This is cool.
Okay.
I'm curious. But they're marketing services.
Yeah. What is S Game? I've never heard of S Game before.
Is that like S words?
I guess. I don't know.
swords?
S Game, the Samsung Gaming Hub. That'll probably be the ad that everyone gets tired of.
And then we have Steam on there.
Steam is on there, so we might get that hero shooter we were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. And then the rest, Xbox, Warner Brothers, that all makes sense. Xbox has their own. By the way, I was thinking about just like the Key 3, whatever we're calling the summer events. Xbox event this year will now cover Xbox, Activision Blizzard, and Bethesda.
Yeah.
That is like a fucking crazy. Like Activision Blizzard used to have their own con.
They skipped this year then, right? There's no way they skip.
No, absolutely not. Yeah. That's a crazy conference with all of that stuff there. It's kind of wild to think about.
Dude, I'm down for like 3 days in a row of Xbox, 2 hours each.
They're just doing a one day thing, and it's on Sunday. Funny enough, of that week.
Oh,
so
do they have a time frame?
Yeah, it's
Like
it's
how
right
long
when
it's gonna
Drop
go?
Frames happens on Sunday, and I think
We
it's
should,
2 hours long. I think.
We should rewind and go back to Netflix games because I think the
Do we
game
really
based
have
off
to?
the incredibly popular Rebel Moon is coming,
Oh,
and I can't wait for that one. I'm very excited.
I just watched the second movie.
why? Why would you watch that?
You know,
Morbid
like,
curiosity.
yeah, that
Why?
genuinely.
Big same here.
What's the name is even bad. What's the name of it? It's
The
like
Scar Giver.
the Scar Giver. That's the stupidest
Scar Giver.
name I've ever heard.
I mean, and we come from a medium where quite some stupid shit gets named. But
the
like,
Scar
yeah, you're right.
Giver.
I was so impressed that it was worse than the first one.
God.
Somehow, and I was like, the first one sucked, and I was
You
like,
watched it
maybe it'll be
too,
better.
Jesse?
It was somehow worse.
Goddamn, both of you.
I was genuinely impressed. It's like you watch it and you're like, you know, the thing about Rebel Moon that makes me sad, that really makes me sad.
Is that it exists?
Just one.
Well, I mean, yes, okay, yes.
I'm gonna get the
but-
Snyder fan base all riled up now.
Oh, is that? Am I pissing people off again?
Oh, is it fucking
you're-
Snyder?
you're speaking the truth.
That just makes it
You're
better.
speaking the
You know
truth.
that.
Don't hide
The
this.
Snyder fan base is pretty.
The thing about Rebel Moon that makes me sad is that part of me wants to believe that it had the opportunity to be something like Jupiter Ascending, where
Didn't
that
that suck
movie
too?
is fucking no. That movie's great.
Jupiter sent. Yo, I'm with
Jupiter
you on
Ascending
this.
This is one of the best fucking movies in the history of movies.
Okay.
Like, I fucking
That
love
movie
Jupiter.
has a lycan tint who rollerblades through the sky. Okay,
A what?
that is
a
you'll never see
tint?
that in any other film ever.
Wait. This is copyrighted content here, but I think that the thing that Jupiter Ascending gave me is the best review I have ever read of anything. Zeke, can you do a read of something for me, please?
Absolutely, it'd be my pleasure.
Can you look up the Mary Sue review of Jupiter Ascending and just read the first 3 paragraphs? Just the first 3 paragraphs.
Okay.
Just do your best dramatic reading.
Review. Jupiter Ascending is the worst movie ever. Go see it immediately. That's the title of the article.
All right.
What? So what exactly is
really?
Jupiter Ascending? Oh, go ahead. You want to? I haven't started yet. If you want to say something, Jesse.
Oh, I was just gonna say, to explain to chat really quickly, the lead character of Jupiter Ascending is named Kane Wise, played by the lovely Channing Tatum. He is an ex-legionnaire lycantant splice hunter sent to kidnap Jupiter Jones by Titus Abraxas. He is a cross between a wolf and a man who used to have wings, but he doesn't anymore because he rollerblades through the sky.
Just
You have not seen this movie. You're missing out on greatness.
Let's see go. The Wachowskis.
Okay. Is the I just want to know one question. Mull it over. Is the writer of this movie the same writer from Ready Player One? Just think about this.
No.
Okay.
No.
Now,
Go.
sounds like it. Okay. What exactly is Jupiter Ascending? Let's start with the basics. This movie is not The Matrix. This movie is not Dune. This movie is not Star Wars, nor is it Fifth Element. No, this movie is like if all of those movies, plus the music video for the Backstreet Boys' Larger Than Life, and the really weird parts of Mass Effect trilogy all got really drunk at a party and had a massive orgy while H.P. Lovecraft filmed it. That's Jupiter Ascending.
You know what? We could stop there. That's perfect.
Okay.
That's perfect.
That's a pretty good pitch.
One of the best movies in the history of mankind. Genuinely.
It is
I'm watching this
impossible to
immediately
explain.
after the show today.
You need to. It is impossible to explain how completely entertaining this movie is. And I don't know how, like, I can't explain. I literally, on paper, this movie is the worst thing that ever existed. Yet I've watched it multiple times now and been like, I loved every second of that. That was insane.
Yeah.
It's only on
both.
fucking Tubi? That's all I can. That's the only streaming service it's on.
What is
Man,
What is
you gotta do a
Tubi?
hunt to find this fucking thing.
What is
Jesus
Tubi?
Christ.
Like,
I don't
just to
know.
be clear, this movie is the worst movie you'll watch that's good. Right?
Yes. Oh,
And
by far.
Rebel Moon, going into Rebel Moon 1, I was like, please let this be that type of bad. Where I come out of it and I'm like, that was terrible. I fucking loved it. But I come out of Rebel Moon with this was terrible and I hate it every moment. And the worst part is I came out of Rebel Moon 2, this was terrible and I don't give a shit. And I was just impressed. I thought it was really, this was like Rebel Moon 1, I thought that was the floor. But Rebel Moon 2 has given me a new appreciation for Rebel Moon 1. Like,
I've
But
never.
dude, I mean, fucking listen to this lineup: Channing Tatum, Mila Kunis, Eddie Redmayne, Sean Bean. This is like fucking.
Sean Bean plays a bee man,
star-studded.
by the way. He is a bee man. He is a man who communicates with bees, and his name is named after bees.
yeah.
This movie is incredible.
And
Wait
in
a
that
minute.
review, it'll say something
did
like...
Kojima watch this before making the Death Stranding? He was like, "Oh shit, their naming game is on point."
Eddie Redmayne is, this is in the review, it goes something like, Eddie Redmayne is literally flawless in this film. Eddie Redmayne knows Jupiter Ascending is bad. Eddie Redmayne knows this. Wait, let me find it. I know. Why do I know this review by heart?
Yeah, you
Eddie
spent some
Redmayne.
time on this.
Eddie Redmayne is literally flawless in this film. Eddie Redmayne knows Jupiter Ascending is bad. Eddie Redmayne knows this perhaps better than anyone else in our solar system, and he does what needs to be done. He swooshes around without a shirt, but with a black cape for 2 hours, speaking only in whispers, except for the very occasional ridiculous outburst. He is so over the top. I am not sure where the top is even anymore. He should win an Oscar.
So let me ask you this, Rami. Let me ask you
Phenomenal
this.
movie. Phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Should I pay money,
Yeah, it's
hard-earned
on.
American dollars,
To earn it
watch
forever?
this,
Yes.
to rent this on
Yes.
Amazon,
You
Yes.
can rent it on
Buy the
Amazon.
collector's
Yeah.
edition DVD
or should I get it some
Blu-ray
other means?
and buy it? Yes.
Okay. Okay.
There is a moment in this film.
I'm going to come back to you and ask for my $4 back if I don't like it. If I
film
deem it
has-
necessary. $2 from each of you.
This film has
Okay.
multiple of the exact same, like, there's like 5 rescue scenes in the exact, they're the exact same thing that happen just over and over. They're in the middle of the movie. There is literally a 15-minute, all action stops, and it's like, we're going to do a goof about getting a license. And it's literally a bureaucracy joke for 15 minutes in the middle of the movie.
Don't
and it's like,
spoil it now.
dude,
I
it's an
mean,
incredible
come on,
film.
you're ruining all the fun.
It's
So
I
Jesus
cannot stress
Christ.
this enough. Buy this movie, own it. I want this to have a resurgence where people are like, do people actually like this movie? I want people to question, and I want Hollywood to be like, let's make the sequel. Let's do this.
It's on Amazon Prime now for $4 rented.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Do what you need to.
Anyway.
Wachowski.
Yeah.
Matrix
Wachowskis.
Wachowski.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Wachowskis.
Oh my god.
The Wachowskis.
This, honest to God, Zeke, this was their post Matrix. We convinced the studio to let us make our Star Wars. This was going to be a trilogy.
I remember it before it came out, and then it came out. And I never heard anything about it.
This was going to be their huge Star Wars trilogy that was going to be the next big thing they did. and they swung for it for sure.
It had a budget of like. It had a budget of like
feel
200
I have
million.
to give this,
wow.
Like I have to give this the same treatment that I gave watching the Cats movie. Like I have to document my journey through the movie.
The what? I think the Cats movie is genuinely the scariest thing I have ever watched in my life. Like I've gone to horror movies where I came out and I'm like, man, at least I wasn't as terrified as Cats was fucking atrocious. Holy shit.
Well, with Cats, like I was unaware that you could actually like physically sense your brain cells dying. Like I didn't know you could do that. And during watching Cats, I felt it's like a little fizz, like a carbon fizz, like just brain cells just popping, exploding.
Yeah.
Cats is the most aware I've been about how gross the seat in the cinema I was in was. Like I normally, like I have never thought about that in any movie ever. And I was just sitting in it and I'm like, this is, and like the other thing was like, the screening I was in was just full of kids with their parents. And that movie is fucking horny.
Yeah.
That movie is not halal. Astaghfirullah, that movie is haram as shit.
Yeah.
And so having the parents just sit there going like to their kids was just incredible.
What's amazing to me is that you found a theater with more than you in it. Because when I went, it was just me and the person I went with. And that was it. It was great.
Me and a friend go on like cinema days where we just like, we start at 9 a.m. and we just watch movies until like 9 p.m. And we decided to go on like the second day that Cats was out. So nobody knew that it was that
so
bad.
The word hadn't gotten out yet.
No.
It's the longest running fucking terrible musical on Broadway. I watched before I watched Cats. I saw a traveling company do Cats, and we went as like a school thing, like our theater group or our theater.
It was
class
bad on
whatever.
stage too. Don't worry about it.
And I saw it on stage, and it was just a moment. It was a fixed point, like Doctor Who. It was a fixed point in time that can never be changed or altered in any possible way because it fundamentally changed who I was as an entertainer and an artist. Because I did not realize how much there is out there that can be considered art.
What else did Weber make? He made another weird film with like robots or something, right? Like
what?
What was his other?
Andrew Lloyd Webber made a robot movie?
Or not a movie? Sorry, a play. He had a crazy.
Phantom of the Opera isn't about robots.
Was it Trains?
Starlight Express.
Yeah. What is Starlight Express? Yes, it's a 1984 1984 musical. With music by Andrew Lloyd Webber. It tells the story of a young but obsolete steam engine, Rusty, who races in championship against modern engines in the hope of impressing a first-class observation car, Pearl. Famously, the actors perform on roller skates.
From timeout.com, trains singing on roller skates. Why? Sure, the standard response is it's for kids, but honestly, our nation's youth have had enough on their plates without having to worry about the love lives of a bunch of frisky steam engines.
I'm gonna answer this very quickly. That article and to everyone else asking why. I'm gonna say drugs were involved. I'm gonna say lots of drugs were involved with both that and Cats. I'm just gonna put it out there.
The thing is, I hate when you have like this really cool like this game and it's like weird and people go like, oh, it's drugs, you know, because like there's so much creativity involved. But on Cats and Starlight, yeah, no, definitely drugs.
I mean,
100%.
It won
no fucking way around that one.
Starlight Express won a Tony in 1987 for Best Costume Design, and it was nominated for Best Musical Original Score, Performance by a Featured Actor in a Musical, Direction of a Musical, Choreography, and Lighting Design. So
I will say
must have been a slow theater year.
Honestly, the reason why I think Cats is successful is because a lot of the songs from it are very catchy and people like. But Cats as a property is nonsense. Yeah. I still don't know what the hell a Jellicle Cat is, and it's been 30 years. I have no idea what the hell a Jellicle Cat is.
He answered it. He answered it in interviews. It's just a made-up word. He made up the word. He's trying to do a Shakespeare. Shakespeare made up a lot of words that we use commonly today, and Angelical didn't catch on. It's like fetch.
Wait, Zeke, hold on. The year that Starlight Express was nominated for Best Musical, Les Mis won. So that's like the number one musical of all time. So it definitely wasn't a slow year. Was that you or Jesse who said that?
Oh no, that was Zeke.
No. It was a slow year other than Les Mis. Like Les Mis came out, and everybody out there were just like, we got to fill up this category with something. Dude.
Okay, fair.
We got all these other theaters; they're empty. What do you got? Okay,
for the record,
I
saw Les Mis on stage as well, and that is fucking tastic.
Yeah, Les Mis is fantastic.
Okay,
yeah.
So here's my idea: we're all on skates, and we're in trains, and we just skate around and sing. They're like, genius, Weber, you still got it.
I feel like you could have put
him and Kojima probably have a room where they're I picture them as like teenage boys.
Oh
like,
God! Don't get Weber and Kojima in a room. No.
If there was a train, but it was a person, and then the person they fell in love, and they're trains though, so they have to be train love and stuff like that. And Kojima's like, "That's great, man."
Oh God! What would
we'll call him Caboose Man?
Yeah, no, that's what I was gonna ask. What's the name that Kojima gives them? Is it Caboose Man? Is it like Choo Choo Charlie or like
Freight
what are
Man.
we? Freight Man. It's probably like Charlie Freightman. Yeah, Freightman is how they pronounce it, but it's spelled Freightman. Yeah. Video games.
Woo! Video games. Actually,
so what have we been playing? Oh shit, it's time.
Yeah. No, I did play one game. I want to mention because I think it's cool, and there's a next one coming. I don't know if you all played the Exit 8. If you have not played the Exit 8, go play the Exit 8. It's fucking phenomenal. There is
not only have I played Exit 8, but I played all of the ones that came after it that weren't as good.
Yeah, they're doing platform. They're doing Platform 8 soon. It's a brilliant game. The less you know, the better it is. But phenomenal game. I had missed it. Somebody put it on my radar. This is a good fucking video game.
This is a trailer for Exit 8.
No, this is the game that spawned a bunch of other games that I've also enjoyed to varying degrees. Some of them I have enjoyed, like, it was all right, but to like, oh, this is really good. But Exit 8 was one of the first ones where I was like, this is well done. I like this. It's a game, anomaly game. Let's just call it that.
Yeah. Sure. This game has the almost the exact same aesthetic, except there's that dude just walked by, but has pools that came out, which is a backroom style.
I played that.
Has almost the exact same vibe, except there's water. You can go in the water and do the whole thing.
Honestly, Jesse, if you haven't played this, go play this.
I have not. Oh, I intend to. It's already. I have the page loaded right now. This looks awesome because I'm already getting. I'm picking up the vibe of like this is gonna be real weird, and I'm excited for it.
Yep.
This is one of the funnest games to stream. Like these types of games are really fun to stream because audience participation is makes it like really fun.
Love this thing. The new one is coming soon, and it's like $4.
Yeah, it's
$3.99.
It is $4. $3.99. Yeah.
And the other game that I've been playing through again that I would like to mention just because is 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim. If you like Vanillaware, it's genuinely one of my favorite games of all time.
So good.
If you have not played it, please play it. If you did play it again.
Okay. All right.
And can we just high five on Lorelei and the laser eyes? Like that's all we need to say.
Yeah,
that's a good game.
That's such a good game.
He's gonna leave you hanging. He doesn't believe in high
I'm trying
fives.
to find the arm. Here.
There you go.
High fives are haram.
JP, come on, help us out here.
This is a lot of work.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
There you
go. It's like Monty Python, like
It's a lot of work. Jesse, real quick, since you're a guest, me and Zeke will be out here every week. We could always talk about what we've been playing. Anything you've been playing? You want to get up?
Cryptmaster. I played the demo on stream, and I started playing the demo. I think it's super fun and super silly. It is a complete Jesse game. Big fan of that kind of stuff. Also, I haven't played the full game. I've goofed around with Scald, which is
I'm going to be
a
playing
kind of
that
like
soon.
D&D. Yeah, it's
it
very
good?
cute if you want to get into like really big storytelling games that also have kind of like old school fight to live mechanics with D&D style combat and things, and
Nice.
you can really like spec out your character and do cool stuff. Love that. Very
I
neat
got a
stuff.
sponsored stream for that. I'm excited for that.
Soothe. Oh my god.
What?
Yo, in Cryptmaster, all the like once you learn spells, your characters will say what their spell is, and the two best one are the bar guy goes soothe, and then the witch lady goes crabs. That's my favorite line of dialogue.
Crabs.
And then crabs fall from the sky, and I love that.
Nice.
Yeah, it's got a great sense of humor. I played it for a day and it was really fun.
Nice. Anything else, Jesse?
You know,
Just Final
being a big
Fantasy as
old
usual.
Final Fantasy nerd waiting for the Dawn Trail. That's pretty much it.
Do you have a react or a take on the job actions that I can go watch?
I mean, a video of me watching it is on Twitch, but I say up front, and I'll say it now. Don't come to me for hot takes on. I play like
Dude,
one job regularly, and even though I leveled up all the other ones, I don't know their abilities. I don't know how they work. I don't intend to learn. I'm just like, did they mess with Red Mage? No. Okay, we're good. Let's keep moving. So that's where I'm at. There's plenty of other videos for people who are like, I have thoughts, and cool. Go watch those. I don't. I'm like, that looks pretty.
Makes sense.
You are me in Destiny. I'm like 1 week from, or like 2 weeks from the final shape.
Yeah, same.
I play one thing. It's a Void Sentinel Titan. As long as they don't fuck that up, best game.
Oh wait, you
Everything
had to
else,
bring
I'm like,
up.
wow.
I forgot, Rami. You're the reason why I'm angry at Destiny right now.
Oh yeah, because you.
Yeah, Rami and I off stream. I had Rami Sherpa me and delete my vault. And now,
I was like, that's never.
And
they're never
now
gonna
they
restore
announced
that,
that they're unvaulting every weapon, and so there was no reason to delete all the stuff I deleted.
Rip.
I mean,
this was like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
I do not feel bad, but I do feel a little bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
It's pretty messed
We
up.
should go play some Destiny so you can get some new weapons.
Yeah.
You need them. You don't have a lot of weapons made. It's embarrassing.
I've got a lot now, but
okay.
I've played a decent
You
amount.
just go raiding with him and tank the raid every time and play it off like you're not.
Me or Rami? Who are you?
Yeah,
who are you
you.
talking? Oh, you want me
Get
to go
back
talk
at
to
him.
him? Oh yeah. I see what you're
To
saying.
be fair, in my raid crew, to Rami something means to die when really there's no reason to die. Like you give me like the hardest job in the raid, I'll do it flawlessly.
Yeah.
But when I'm just standing around, I'll walk backwards off the level.
Great.
And I was like, dude, why are you wasting a revive token? It's like I don't.
Yeah, makes sense.
I don't know.
And then the last thing I will say, and I'm not going to explain anything, which I think is great. Maybe I'll talk about it next week. Diablo 4 is good now.
Cool.
That's it. Thanks for watching, everyone. Let's do some shout outs.
Can I please get Destiny one more time? I
what
will
are we
never
doing?
get to do this again.
Oh, we're
I
doing
just want
this?
Destiny one more time. Yeah, please. Like, I just want to pet the good boy. Come here. There we go.
Fuck, is he happy or sad or angry? I don't know.
We don't know. We don't know.
Okay, I'll go.
We don't know.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
We
He's
don't
cooing.
know.
That's a good sound.
Yeah.
I'm just happy now. Thank you.
All right. Let's do some shout outs. Zeke, we'll start with you. What do you got going on? Where can people check it out?
Yo, what's up, everybody? My name is Ezekiel the Third. You can find me at /Ezekiel_I on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube, or Ezekiel the Third, all spelled out on Instagram and TikTok. Thank you, huge thank you to Jesse and Rami for being on the show today. We had highs, we had lows, we had peaks and valleys, like a good game should have. And I'm bringing I remember things. Thank you to JP for being my co-host every week. If you want to check me out, you can find me. I broadcast every day, Tuesday through Saturday at 10 a.m. And this Tuesday, I'm actually going to be playing a new game from a friend of mine, Jack Lafear and Fran, who made Unepic and Unmetal. New game coming out called Pompous and Celine, and me and Skin Teen are going to be co-oping the release of Pompous and Celine. So if you want to come out on Tuesday, that's what we'll be doing. And then maybe, hey, someone put Parasite Eve 2 in my head, and I realized I never played it. So maybe we play that this week. Who knows? Because I played Parasite Eve 1, and I cannot believe that I hadn't played 2 yet.
That's a good one.
Maybe we do that. That's all I got. Thanks for watching.
Fantastic. Jesse Cox, do some shout outs. What do you got going on?
Hey, boy, I assume this is the last time I'll be on before it comes out. So all my information is on the side. Love you. It's not Shabuzi. It's Jesse Cox. Shabuzi was the old thing from literally 10 years ago. Well, it's fine, JP. I don't expect you to update things. It's cool. Here's what I'll say. On
you know
July...
he's going to change it to something terrible or just eliminate it.
You know what? I'll take it. On July 16th, hey, I'm going to shout this out now. The new game I'm producing, Gestalt, Steam, and Cinder, comes out. So feel free to go wishlist it now over on Steam. If you like Metroidvania platformy jump murder games, it is really fun. And we're working on it, except it would be out now, but I'm no fool because I don't want to compete with Elden Ring or me playing Dawn Trail. So see ya in July, kids.
Smart.
And that'll be when it comes out.
Yeah, I played that during demo days. I think it still has a demo out, right? Is that demo still available?
Play the demo right now.
It was good. It was good. Looking forward to it. Say the name one more time. People didn't hear it.
Gestalt, Steam, and Cinder. Look it up on Steam. You can wishlist it today.
Fantastic. Rami, what do you got going on? Do some shout outs. Where can people check you out?
Oh my gosh. Everything is happening. I have a lot of shit going on, which is really exciting. I'm doing a bunch of games again. Like, all of them are weird. I definitely hit my Miley Cyrus weird era. I've done the screen shake, and now I'm doing other weird shit. I'm pretty excited about that. You can follow me on Twitter, but Twitter doesn't work anymore, so don't do that. You can find me at ramiismail.com if you're a game developer and you have questions or want to talk. Like, just reach out. If you have $10 to spend, buy the Exit 8 and go watch Jupiter Ascending. Like, that's all I have. Like,
yo, that's a winner right there. Yep, I second that.
Yeah,
terrible. It's terrible.
Astaghfirullah. Astaghfirullah. This stream was not halal.
No, it wasn't. It started off not halal, and it ended not halal. Yeah. Twitter actually doesn't exist. You can't go to twitter.com anymore?
No, it redirects to X.
Yeah.
It redirects to X.com now.
Yeah.
But, like, more importantly, nobody sees tweets anymore. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like, find me on Blue Sky or Instagram.
Yeah.
Or LinkedIn. Like, fucking go to LinkedIn. It's better than Twitter. Like,
we're bringing it back, kids. LinkedIn is back.
What? Oh god.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
It's sad.
I'll see you on AIM.
I might have to start the Switch thing, but I heard that it's bad.
Switch what? You have to switch
this
to what?
Twitch thing. Maybe I have to switch to this Twitch thing, but I heard it's tough.
It's not worth it.
It's a tough place.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
Tough people.
You got to do it for the love of the game, or don't do it at all.
All right, that's it. Thanks everyone for watching. We're out. The only thing that was
one more time. Do the one more time.
Oh. While this is happening, the only thing that was posted in the Drop Frames Discord was me linking Jupiter Ascending to Zeke. And we're not going to say anything to Cohh. We're just going to talk at the start of next show about Jupiter Ascending and not tell Cohh why. What's going on over there?
I'll get my notebook out.
Why does Rami look so tiny?
Like a cat. I got a little cat. It's like my little cat.
Jesus.
Hello, Mr. Bond.
Jesus.
I've been expecting you, Mr. Bond.
Anyways, that's it. We're out of here. Thank you all so much for joining us. We will be back next week with another episode of the show, I guess. VOD will be up over at youtube.com/itmeJP later, probably in the next 45 minutes or so. So you can go subscribe and it'll be in your sub box later today. We're out. Thank fuck. Bye-bye.